Okay, I think. I don't know. Let me set up YouTube first before I do anything else. Hello, everybody. Anybody who is hanging out, it's right at the beginning, so I'm sure nobody is watching right now because I just go live whenever I feel like it. So that doesn't really bode well for people being here right at the beginning, but I'm going to be talking anyway because I am setting up YouTube. Give me a second here. There's this whole thing. I don't know how to do it outside of doing it this way. I talked about this last week and I'm going to talk about it every week. I don't know how to actually set up my stream before going live with my stream when I am restreaming. So it's the only thing is I have to set up the stream to make sure that it does everything that I want. Make sure that my stream is not for kids, and just make sure there's a couple of tags like Resident Evil, RE2, horror, survival horror, scary, jump scare, retro for the first time, RFTFT. Okay, I think that's good enough. And then we'll save it, and then the thumbnail should update any minute. Oh, and game title, Resident Evil 2 from 2019. And then save it. Okay, so I think we're live now on YouTube. I think. My channel. Okay, so I am live on YouTube. Let me check out Twitch real quick. I saw somebody messaged. Hold on. Hello, Patty Rowe. How you doing? Welcome. And Blitzy, hello. Nice to see you as well. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, I am live on Twitch, which matters because that is kind of the big thing. Okay, so we're live on both. That is good. We're actually live on both. I am not on the just chatting screen because I am trying something new tonight. I don't know if it's going to work, so we're going to give it a shot. First of all, let me set up my phone to do this. Sorry, the beginning of this is always a nightmare because there's just so many steps to go through in order to make sure that everything's working the way that I want. Hyper, hello, nice to see you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Okay, so the thing that I am trying tonight is I'm going to try going live on TikTok at the same time that I'm live on Twitch and YouTube, but I'm doing a specific TikTok stream, if that makes sense. So like I'm restreaming the same stream on YouTube and Twitch. They're exactly the same, but on TikTok, I am opening a new instance. I don't know if my computer can handle it. I am hoping it can handle it, but I'm opening a brand new instance. So that way the TikTok stream doesn't just look like a screen cap that's like shrunk down. Because I have a few friends that stream on Twitch and then they throw it to TikTok, but it's like horizontal in a vertical thing. It just looks really small. I've actually like screen captured and everything, so maybe it'll work. So I'm about to go live on TikTok, and we'll see if this is gonna destroy my bitrate and quality. I have lowered my quality to 720p. I normally stream at 1080p, down to 720p. I want to see if this works because I never do horror streams on TikTok, but I stream a lot on TikTok, and I usually get a decent viewership on TikTok, and so like, why not, right? If I can do all three, why not? Yeah, Blitzy, I have a TikTok code, and I actually, I've got a decent sized platform on TikTok. And so, I have a TikTok number they sent me. I'm part of like the Canadian TikTok creators program. And so they sent me a number to be able to actually stream from my PC. Which is pretty nice. I'm using the TikTok Live Studio app. I know it's in beta and some people have access to it, some people don't. It's a decent program, but it's kind of finicky. It can be kind of irritating because there's certain things that are missing or certain things that don't work that I wish worked. Or like certain features that I can do on regular OBS that I cannot do on the TikTok Live app. So it is what it is. Okay, so I am live on OBS. Am I live on TikTok? That is the real question. Okay, it looks like I'm live on TikTok. So I've got TikTok going too. Let me see if the audio is okay. Live on TikTok. So I've got TikTok. Okay. Yeah, cool. Let's see, you found me. Nice. Yeah, because one of the big issues, haha, you can see my Go XLR. There we go. Because one of the big issues that I have when I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube, or not issues, one of the things that Twitch and YouTube has that TikTok doesn't is that I can do jump scares on Twitch and YouTube. I haven't figured out a way to really do it on TikTok. I think there is a way. I have a friend who does pretty much only survival horror stuff, and I think he has a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out yet, and I always forget to ask. So, oh well. But yeah, that's kind of where we are. Chugga baby, hello. Not bald anymore. You are right. I'm no longer bald. Thank you for the likes. So everybody, it's going to be a little bit weird because like the YouTube people cannot see my TikTok chat, and TikTok people will not be able to see YouTube and Twitch chat, but YouTube and Twitch can see each other on screen. So it's going to be a little bit weird. It's going to be a little bit complex, but it is what it is. Get in my van. Hello. Nice to see you. I do. I have hair now. I have hair. Yeah, Blitzy, or Bitsy, sorry, I keep calling you Blitzy. Yeah, Bitsy, they're very picky on who they give their codes to for TikTok. The benefit is that if you get one, they're really pushing live streams right now on TikTok, so there's a better chance of seeing people and getting growth from it. Once you get it, it's pretty cool, but it can still be taken away from you at the drop of a hat. They have got a lot of automation on TikTok, and one of the downsides is you can get banned for really dumb things. Like I got banned playing Dark Souls because my guy wasn't wearing armor, and they took it down for adult content, and it was Dark Souls, and it wasn't like adult violence, it was adult sexual content. So it was really weird. But TikTok's pretty cool. Sad Life, nice to see you. Welcome. Okay, everybody. So we are on both TikTok, or all three, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm everywhere right now. And I don't normally stream at this time on TikTok. I'm usually just Twitch and YouTube at this hour. But I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to see what happens if I do survival horror on TikTok. The one thing for TikTok is there is no way to do the jump scares. That's why I have that note up there that says jump scares from YouTube and Twitch, because sometimes you might hear a jump scare come through. I'll scream, everybody will laugh, but that's why it's happening. I don't know of a way to trigger it on TikTok. I'm hoping I can figure out a way, but I can't make any promises that it'll happen anytime soon. Acid Frags, hello. Thank you. I actually have lost some weight. Stay Super, thank you so much for 9 months. Hey, congratulations, Stay Super.
Let's go retro. Also want to share some exciting news. Just found out I'ma be a dad. Happy New Year's retro.
Happy New Year to you too. That is awesome. Congratulations. Being a dad is one of the greatest feelings if you want kids. If you don't want kids, obviously it's not going to be a great feeling. But if you want kids, being a dad is awesome. It can be very hard. It can be very heartbreaking. I'm at that point now where, you know, my daughter is, she's 9. She just turned 9. And, you know, she's getting to that age where she's about to become a teenager in the next few years. And so like, I'm trying to hold on and cherish every little thing that we do together, because I know in about 4 years, she's not going to want to have anything to do with me. And that's going to break my heart. You know, she's not going to run over here and like show me the little drawing that she made, or she's going to like build something on Minecraft to come show me. She's not going to do that anymore. So it can be heartbreaking. But those moments where she like just walks up to just give me a hug, nothing can replace that. How do you trigger jump scares and stuff through YouTube? I don't understand how that works. So Bitsy, if you're talking about like as a creator, what you have to do is I have an account on Streamlabs. You can do it on Stream Elements as well, and then you can enable donations. And so you get the link, you put that in the comments, or in Twitch you can have like an actual like tab to push, and then that'll take everybody to use like a PayPal account to be able to give you a donation or a tip. And you can trigger it so that when they donate a certain amount, they can have different sound effects or different things happen. So like, you know, if somebody donates more than $50, you're going to get a different song than somebody who only donates $2. I've only got it set up that if anybody donates exactly $6.66, it triggers a jump scare in my ears. And so then that's all it is that when they go to donate, I've set it up so that specific donation will trigger a specific sound. And I think I've got like 2 or 3 different screams that come through. I think that's on Twitch, not on YouTube. 2 or 3 different screams that come through to kind of make it a little bit more varied in my side, so I can kind of freak out. And that's pretty much what I've done for the jump scares. But yeah. Ian Hart, hello, nice to see you. You thought 3 was even better? I thought 2 was better than 3. I felt 3 was very short. It felt more like a DLC than a full-fledged game. Not that it was a bad game. I think 3 was phenomenal too. I like the remakes of 2 and 3 far, far more than I liked 4, 5, or 6. 4, I like 4, but I still prefer the remake of 2 and 3. And I actually prefer those two to the remake of 1 that came out back in like 2002 or whatever that was. I'm really excited for the remake of 4. I'm really excited for the remake of 4. See what they do. Yeah, Bitsy. So I use the donation thing. Now the jump scares, I allowed it. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna. Ah, it does work. Okay. Yep. Hyper got it. I saw the chat because when you do super the tipping on YouTube, I don't know what it's actually called. Super chat on YouTube. I can't remember now. It pops up before the trigger happens in my ears. So I saw it and then I thought maybe I hadn't turned it on. And then I remembered it takes a minute, and then that's when the scream happened, and it freaked me out. Thank you, Hyper. Yeah, that's exactly it. So Bitsy, I think I had it on Twitch. I had it set up for bits and for donations. I never did it with channel points because that would kind of defeat the purpose of the jump scare, because there are enough people that watched the channel consistently that they would just get free jump scares. And in the end, the jump scare like rips my throat raw. And it loses its scariness when it happens over and over and over again. Like there have been streams where I've had like 8 jump scares in a row within like 15 minutes. And so by like the 7th or 8th one, it's not as scary anymore because I'm already on edge and kind of have already fallen off the edge. Whereas like right now, I saw it, but I thought it wasn't going to happen. And then it happened and it caught me off guard. So that's kind of what happens. Kayla, this is not pre-recorded. It is not pre-recorded. I'm live. Kayla Chavez. There. Is that proof that I'm live? I'm live. I can't wait to create those memories with kids. Yeah. Stay super. You're allowed to be nervous. Absolutely be nervous. The secret is none of us really know what we're doing. And even the people that are going to tell you how things should be done, they don't really know what they're doing. And don't ever be afraid to ask for help. That was the best decision Alana and I ever made, was to ask for help when we were really having a hard time. And there's nothing wrong with being told you're doing something wrong. All you have to do is just figure out why it's wrong and learn a new way to approach the situation you're in. But it's a great experience. I'm sure you're going to be fine. I'm sure you're going to be fine. Yeah, Bitsy. YouTube is different than Twitch. YouTube is very different than Twitch when it comes to streaming. It's still kind of not as gamified, I guess is the word. You know, like Twitch has a lot of things to kind of make the viewer feel like they're playing a game while they're manipulating things on the stream or like with points and all that. YouTube doesn't really have a lot of that, so it makes it very hard to kind of find fun things to do with the channel. I do like the fact that YouTube records everything and keeps it. So like I can go back and watch my very first stream I ever did. I can't do that on Twitch anymore. Each side has its benefits. Each side has its own benefits. No worries, Kayla. It's hard to tell when something is pre-recorded or not, especially when you're watching streams, because you never know. Because when you swipe in, especially if it looks like this and I've got it set up and you're seeing me chat to something that's not on your screen, because you're on TikTok, I'm talking to people on YouTube and Twitch. It's very hard to know what's happening, like if it's real or not, because I'm talking to messages that aren't there and the quality looks good, but like it just doesn't seem to coincide. But I'm actually streaming on both at the same time. And so I've tried to make it so it works on both and is dedicated to each platform. And I think it's working. I hope it's okay. But I appreciate you popping in and asking anyway. It's short, but improved so much. Oh yeah. I never beat Ian. I never beat the original Resident Evil 3. I played a bit of it. I never beat it. I really liked it. I don't know where they improved on it or where they kind of could have done better. But yeah, I just felt it was kind of short. And that was my only complaint. It got a little bit more action-y than Resident Evil 2 was, but I really liked 3 as well. I just preferred 2 between the two of them. Hooded Sun, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Swag Bucks, nice to see you. Welcome. Yeah, Bitsy, a lot of streaming stuff is based on Twitch, and so it can be very hard to find things that are YouTube specific. There are certain things you can do on Twitch that you can't do on YouTube and you wish you could. You know, certain triggers and stuff, like having channel points to like change camera angles. You can't do that on YouTube, at least not as far as I know now. I know there are certain things like workarounds, but they get really complicated. I know there was like a bot that you could have. This was like years ago that I saw this, but there was like a bot you could have that would take your chat from YouTube, copy it and paste it into your Twitch chat, so that way the chat could keep in touch with whatever was happening on the other side. And I saw somebody had it set up both ways. I'm guessing that would be a way that you could do something like Channel Point Redemption style, where like somebody puts in a code, it goes over to the Twitch one, which triggers the command over there. I guess would be a kind of a way to do it, but I'm not sure. Down Under Dwarf, hello, nice to see you. But yes, everybody, so we're playing Resident Evil 2. Everybody on TikTok, anybody on TikTok, I don't normally stream at this time on this channel with horror stuff. I'm usually on Twitch and YouTube, which I am right now, but I thought it would be cool to try it out, see if it works out. I don't know if survival horror is really successful, but it's worth a try. Brandel Savage, thank you so much for following. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. That OBS should be able to like take the chats and put them together, Hooded Sun. Yeah, or like that Restream could do something like that. Like, I mean, I have it set up on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok can't see it, but on YouTube, I have it set up on screen to kind of help. That's why I have the chat on screen. I hate chat on screen, but I've got it there because I've got a mixture of people talking. But yeah, it's a little bit, it's a little bit convoluted trying to Restream. But Restream was something that a lot of big streamers were so against until fairly recently. And so I think now that Twitch has kind of dropped those rules, you're going to see a lot more restreaming happening. And because there are so many issues on all the platforms, right? Like TikTok, their auto moderation can be kind of rough. And having repeat viewers is really rough on TikTok because there's no way to really like cultivate a community on TikTok. You can get a big following, but there's no way to like really cultivate a community like you can on YouTube or on Twitch. Twitch doesn't really pay out properly, and they're very bad at discoverability. YouTube kind of is the best of both worlds, where they're not great at discoverability, but they're better than Twitch. They have more features than TikTok does, but TikTok is much more popular than YouTube is, and TikTok is really pushing live streams. It's like every platform has their benefits. So I think you're going to see a lot more restreaming happening because there's benefit to being on multiple platforms now, whereas a couple of years ago there really wasn't. Smash that enter button. Yeah, Bitsy. Yeah, it can get really complicated. Brandel Savage, thank you so much for coming over from TikTok. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, it can get really convoluted. You can do some really amazing things as a streamer if you use Mix It Up, I think is what it was called. I don't have it installed anymore. I had to do a fresh install, but I think it's called Mix It Up. That's a really powerful tool you can use. I used to use that to have commands to like change the colors of my background. It used to change my camera angles. They used to be able to trigger memes on my screen. I've gotten rid of all of that. I'm going really down to the basics of just like gameplay and chatting and none of the fancy stuff because I'm not trying to make it as a streamer anymore. Not because I've given up, but because I don't have enough freedom to do that. Like I can't risk it all and do that because I was making money streaming a few years back, but not enough to quit my job. And so I needed to keep working to pay my bills. But because I was working, I couldn't dedicate enough time to get my stream to the next level. And because my stream wasn't reaching the next level, I couldn't bring my paycheck up. And because the paycheck wasn't up, I couldn't quit my job. It was like an endless circle. So I cut out all that stuff. Now this is more about just hanging out, playing video games and relaxing. Like this is my only day off in the week. I want to play video games, so I do it here on stream and chat with you. No, Hooded Sun. No Discord. I don't do well with the whole social thing, and Discord was something that became a chore. I really disliked using Discord. Not that I disliked the people there. It was the having to moderate things, having trolls come through and having to be on top of that, or if something bad was happening and I wasn't around, it fell on me, right? Like it was my responsibility when something would go wrong. I had a bunch of stuff happen behind the scenes. I wasn't involved in it, but because it was my channel, it fell on my lap, and dealing with the fallout of that was really hard. And then, you know, I used to do a lot of like Zelda and Mario and stuff like that. So I'd have younger kids come through, and having little kids message me all day long was hard to deal with. You know, sometimes I'd be sleeping and I'd get like 12 messages. literally saying nothing. Just like some 12-year-old kid, just like, hi, how are you? Hi, are you there? Hello, hi, I just had a birthday cake. It's like, okay, I didn't answer you because I'm asleep. And so people would be like, just turn off the notifications. So I turn it off and I just wouldn't use Discord. And then I'd go 2 weeks without even checking it. And then people would get mad because I didn't respond to them. So like, instead, just no Discord. Save myself the hassle. Oh, Bitsy, that's the worst part, is waiting for all the upgrade stuff is always the worst. What was the one upgrade? I think it was probably my camera was one of the ones that was the hardest for me to wait for. Waiting for my camera drove me nuts because I couldn't wait to get it. But yeah, waiting for the setup is tough. I tried adding a little bit extra. You can't really see it here because I'm on like a short window. Abigail, hello. Thank you for the rose. I really appreciate that. I'm good. How are you, Abigail? But I added like a purple light up here so I could have a little bit more color on me to kind of just add a little bit more to the mood. The Christmas tree is still up. I've got to get rid of that now, but I'm too lazy to do the work. Oh, man. Yeah, see, Hyper, and that was the thing. I don't have the dedication to like figure that stuff out. Like, I've seen some really cool Discords out there that have like a really nice way to moderate who comes in and who comes out and what's said and what isn't and how to like interact and keep the community going. I had no interest in it, and because I had no interest in it, I didn't cultivate that. And so then it was just really an empty room with a bunch of people that joined for the self-promo channel, and that was it. And so it was useless, right? I didn't even use it for like direct messaging or anything. I was part of like a streamer group for a while there, and there were some really cool people there when I was in their Discord. I might even still be a part of it unless they purged me. I don't know. And it was fine. But like even that I didn't really keep in touch with. And then when I popped in, there was a bunch of people that I didn't recognize. And then I've seen a bunch of drama lately, and I'm just like, I'm glad I'm not part of that. Abigail, I really appreciate that. I try to mix it up with the videos. I try to keep it entertaining. I try to do stuff that would be interesting for everybody. And then some stuff that nobody really cares about, but it's just like getting to know me type of stuff. I'm glad you like the videos. Yeah, Hyper, I upgraded. So I started with like a really cheap desk that I got at Staples. It was way too small. Then I upgraded to like the stereotypical streamer IKEA desk, you know, like the countertop with the Alex drawers and all that. And that was okay, but it was really, really big. And the place I had my stream set up before, the desk was just far too big and it was taking up a lot of space. And so I was like, you know what, I can cut back. I don't have to have all my consoles and everything on the table. So I reduced everything and I got a standing desk, which I don't use as much as I used to, but I also don't sit as much as I used to. I walk around for work, so I'm not as concerned as I was before. But it's small. It's a crammed desk. I've got a little 14-inch display as my like chat screen, and then my 27-inch as my gaming screen. Hair Kursna, Hair Rama. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Hello, how you doing? Welcome. You getting an L desk? L desks are nice. The only reason my first desk was an L desk. The only reason I got rid of that, one, it was small. Even for an L desk, it was small. But two, because it was an L desk, I was very limited on where I could put it and like the orientation it could have. So I wanted a straight desk. Then I went for one that was too big. Now this one's a pretty good size. I still have the Alex drawer, so I use that to put my PC on and stuff now. But yeah, I do miss having an L desk because it was nice kind of having an extra shelf here to put stuff on. But especially in the setup I have now, I couldn't have an L desk anyways. X, I don't know how to say your name. I'm bad with names, everybody. I'm really sorry. X, I really appreciate that. I'm working hard on trying to like have most of my videos have a decent quality, but I'm also trying not to overdo it anymore. I was really overdoing it for a while there. I'm trying to kind of just mix it up, keep some videos high quality, some videos low quality, some off the cuff and some written up, but I appreciate the compliment. Joshua, thank you. I appreciate that. That's really kind of you to say. Yes, so everybody who's popping in and out on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. I am on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube right now, all at the same time. So if you see me, people on YouTube and Twitch, see me answering to something you don't see, it's because it's on TikTok. And people on TikTok, if you see me answering to something that you don't see in chat, it's because I'm answering Twitch and YouTube. All right, so we are playing Resident Evil 2. We are doing the remake. I am playing on hardcore mode, and we've done a few streams. I did a full stream last week, and then I died without saving, and we have to do it all again tonight. So hopefully I remember what we were doing. I don't know. I was having a couple of beverages, or I had one, but I don't really ever. So I don't really remember what we did, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'm sure I'll figure it out. You missed the extra space? Yeah, but you don't always need to upgrade desks, right? Like once you have a setup, you don't really need to upgrade. One of the things that I see a lot of, especially new content creators do, is they upgrade all their stuff immediately. And a lot of the times you don't need to. Like you really, really don't. I bought this light, and there used to be another one over there, but I took it down for now to put the blue one up. But I bought this set of lights 5 years ago, and I've never had to upgrade. The one broke, the stand broke, so I have it like held on by a clip. But like they still work, and there's no need to upgrade. Sure, when I saw the Elgato lights, hell yeah, I would want that. I would want to have nice control like on my apps and stuff. Cool, but not worth it because I don't need it. I also saw Kadea has like these bar lights that look really cool, and they're way more minimal. I would love to use those, but again, I don't need them, so I'm not going to upgrade. So sometimes upgrading is cool just for the sake of upgrading, but a lot of the times it's not necessary. Yes, Joshua, I should probably actually start playing. But yes, anybody who is watching, especially TikTok and stuff, I know people wear headphones. Be prepared. Sometimes jump scares happen, and I scream, and it could hurt your ears. I apologize. I am a coward. Oh, man. Yeah, Hyper, I know the feeling. Now that I'm an adult, like, I used to have 4 IKEA shelves full of collectibles. I boxed a whole bunch of it and gave 2 of the shelves to Alana because she had a big collection and she had nowhere to put them. But like my 2 shelves are completely crammed now. Like I need to get another shelf because there's a bunch of stuff that I have boxed up that I have nowhere to put. And it really sucks because I would really like to put some more stuff up. Like I was at GameStop a couple of days ago, and there were these really cool figurines. They were from the like original Dragon Ball, like the Kid Goku saga, and it was Krillin and Chi-Chi as children, and I haven't seen those around very often, and I didn't have the money to buy them anyway, but I probably would have put them on my credit card if I had shelf space, but I don't have shelf space, so I knew that that was two marks against me. I shouldn't risk it, so I didn't get them, and I was really upset. Hello, Raging the Dragon. How are you doing, Stewie? Hope you're doing okay, man. All right, everybody, let's get started. Let's play some Resident Evil 2, and let's see if we get scared. Obviously, I have played through a portion of this. Hopefully I will remember what to do, because I don't remember for the life of me. Nice, Hyper, nice. On my desk, I don't really have any consoles. I have like my Super Nintendo Classic and my Oculus. Because I've only been streaming from my PC, I haven't really needed to put my consoles on here. Eventually, I'll put a console up when I start playing, like if I go back and play like Wind Waker or something. So, Stewie, yes and no. It is not my hair, but it is real hair. It's a company called Lord Hair, and wow, I've said hair a lot. And they make hair systems, wigs, toupees, prosthetics. Different people like to refer to them as different things. A lot of guys are very uncomfortable calling them wigs or toupees because they have that like fake image associated with them. So a lot of them call them prosthetics, which technically they are a prosthetic. But yeah, it's real hair, and it's been hand knotted into the base, and then it's semi-permanent, so it gets glued on and then it stays on. And funny enough, I was having a really, really bad time the last couple of days. No, this is not anything to do with Lord Hair. I was just having a very hard time with it because I tend to sweat when I'm at work, and they gave me a system that is made up of like a poly skin. It's almost like, it's not silicone because it's a lot rougher than that, but it's like a plastic, and that's where the hair is put into. But that doesn't breathe very well, and I sweat. And so when you sweat, it gets itchy. The thing is, over the last couple of days, the itching was getting painful. Like it was a severe itch. I thought that I was actually breaking out in a rash. And so today my plan was to like remove the front and then see how my skin was doing, and if it was okay, just freshen up the scalp and then put it back on. I ended up having to take the whole thing off, which was not what I was expecting to do. And then I tried to put it back on and I couldn't get it on right because I can't see the back of my head and I have to line it up. And then my hair, like the hair itself, curled underneath and got stuck in the tape. And so it was getting all like knotted and stuff. So I had to take it all off. And in the process of taking it off the second time, I tore it. So this is actually a broken system. I'm going to wear it for a few weeks just because now it's on. And so now I've been able to hide it. You can't see. But it's heartbreaking because it's so delicate and it broke. Thankfully, I'm on a 1-year contract with Lord Hair, so they'll just send me another one when I need it. But I just put this one on, so I'm going to wear it for a few weeks, and then I'll message them about another one. But it's a really cool system, and like I said, it's semi-permanent. I can go out in the rain. I can shower. I shower with it. I sleep with it. Technically, I could swim with it, but the chlorine in pools and the salt water in the ocean dries out the hair, makes it brittle, and then it doesn't last as long. It also like bleaches the hair because this hair, they chemically treat it to turn it pretty much clear, and then they dye it so all the hairs will match, and then the problem is that the dye wears out a lot faster if you swim in chlorinated water or saline water, and so then or salinated water, and so it loses its color as well. So it's not advised to swim, but you can if you want, and like I can pull on it and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I've never watched One Piece, Joshua. I want to. I hear there's like, somebody said over 1,000 episodes now. Last I heard it was like 800 and something, and then somebody corrected me and said it's over like 1,000 episodes. That is a lot of episodes. If we are talking about One Piece, the show, I hope that's what we're talking about. And I'm not like on a totally different planet than you right now. I do want to watch it. It's just I haven't worked up the courage to undertake so many episodes. I read somewhere that like if you watch like 8 hours a day, it would take like 15 years to watch all the episodes or something ridiculous like that. Okay. Yeah, Bitsy, I'm bald. I've always had very, very short hair on stream or completely shaved. A lot of my online friends, my community, they don't really like the hair because they feel like I look weird with it. But I look weird because nobody's used to seeing me this way. But I made this kind of comparison for a lot of people. I've been streaming for almost 7 years, and you've only known me with little to no hair. But I've been alive for 36, almost 37 years. 30 of those years, I had hair. And for 28 of those years, I had a lot of hair. This thickness is the thickness my hair always was. So when I look at myself now, this is what I've always looked like. It's just a weird look for people to get used to because it's different than what they're normally used to seeing me as. So, Stewie, hair systems have been around for a really, really long time, and the semi-permanent ones have never really been popular because they didn't last. And so it wasn't really an option. As technology has gotten better, they've found ways to make them last. Now, these don't last very long. They last between 3 to 6 months if you really, really push it and really take care of it. And I'm doing everything I can to take care of mine outside of ripping it. But you have to keep purchasing them. The thing is that a lot of the times they would use fake hair because it was cheaper to do. And there wasn't a lot of people donating hair, and now there are a lot of people donating hair. The thing is, not everybody's hair is able to be donated to like cancer and stuff like that, right? Because you have to have hair that's not treated and all this stuff. And so there's more chances of getting wigs done for men with hair loss. The other thing is it's becoming more of an acceptable thing. So the people that did do it didn't talk about it. Now people are talking about it because people are becoming more open, right? Like guys wear nail polish. I'm not today, but guys wear nail polish now. A lot of guys are starting to wear makeup. I'm still not comfortable enough for makeup. Plus my skin is really delicate. Couldn't do it if I wanted to anyway. But like a lot of guys are starting to do that. And like when it comes to hair systems, it's like, I say this every time I bring it up, but women wear hair extensions. A lot of women wear wigs, and nobody bats an eye. right? Like women will openly say, oh yeah, these are hair extensions. That's how I get my hair this nice. But if a guy says it, it's something you judge them for. And so a lot of people are starting to open up. A lot of people in the hair loss community, I guess, are starting to open up about it to help it not be so stigmatizing to have that. And a big thing is that guys who lose their hair get made fun of for losing their hair, but equally get made fun of for trying to cover it up. And so it's a lose-lose situation for guys like me. And so the only option we have is to shave our head. But as a person who's now been on both sides, shaving my head made me lose who I was. And now that I'm doing this, I found myself again. And so for me, it's more of like a just finding who I am type of thing. And so that's kind of where I'm going at it with, or going, that's how I'm approaching this, is more of a helping guys find who they used to be. So it is becoming more common. It's just still not as open as it should be. But yeah, it's becoming more common. A lot of guys are starting to realize that they can do things to take care of their hair. You know, they sell like partial systems. Like they literally sell just like a strip that you can wear if you're just receding, or they sell like the little patch you could just wear at the back. They can do different patterns and stuff, right? And they can do like the full system, although at that point, then it starts to look fake because now you have a full seam. Whereas like I have real hair, like this is all my real hair. And so like I can still blend it and stuff. But for me, this isn't going to be for the rest of my life, but for the foreseeable future, I'll be doing this. So it's one of those, let people see me be open about it, so then maybe them in secret can do it more comfortably. No worries, Hyper. Bits, yeah, and honestly, if you're losing your hair, if it's thin to the point of like hair loss thin, not just you're getting older and it's thinning, because as you get older, your hair thins no matter what, your hair recedes no matter what. But if it's thinning, like male pattern baldness level thinning, honestly, look at one of these systems, because even if you still have hair, it's a lot less traumatizing to get the system put in now and have like a semi change in how thick your hair is versus waiting till where I got, where like I was very bald. Everybody knew me as fully bald. And then all of a sudden I have hair. Everybody that pops in that hasn't seen me for a couple of weeks go, oh my God, you have hair. And I'm okay with it because I don't get embarrassed very easily. But for the average person, that can be very embarrassing of like oh my God, they're noticing it's fake. And that can kind of be hard to wrap your head around. But if you do it now while your hair is thin, but still there, then nobody will notice it. And then you could just do it, right? And there's a guy that I watched, one of the guys, because a lot of the guys that I see are European. But one guy was, I think, Mexican, but he was darker skinned. He had the same hair I have, and he did it, and he was like 20. And his hair was still relatively okay. It was just starting to recede, but he did the full horseshoe haircut and everything. And then he put it on, and you have no idea that he has it because it there's not such a big change. Whereas like for me, there's a huge change. So I honestly think that it's a cool process for people to try. It's a lot more feasible than getting surgery done. Surgery is great, but surgery has to be done every 5 to 10 years. It's very, very expensive. If your hair is too thin, then you don't have enough donor hair to do it. And then eventually when you get old enough and you fully bald, the parts that were transplanted stay, but they're very artificial looking. And so it's very obvious you got a hair transplant. Whereas like this, once I'm done with it, I could take it off and I could just go back to being bald and it's natural. Thank you, H83. I appreciate that. But yeah. Bitsy, I don't know. Sometimes we go through phases. Sometimes you just lose a lot of hair because you're really stressed out and then life settles down and then it stops falling out and then it can even regrow. But yeah, it's honestly, shaving my head was probably a lot harder than wearing this was. It took me a couple of days to get used to this just because I hadn't seen myself with hair for so long. But when I shaved my head, I had a really hard time with it. I had a really, really, really hard time with it. You know, I had an okay shape head. Bald suited me fine. But I had a hard time with it because I liked doing my hair. I liked having hairstyles and, you know, dressing up and doing my hair up and then having lazy days and not doing my hair. And then when I went bald, like when I shaved it completely down, it's like, I can't do anything but be shaved. And that kind of just wrecks it. And then things like I'd wear my glasses and I'd put them on my head and then I'd take them off and you'd see the indents of where my glasses were sitting. Or streaming, I'd wear my headphones and then I'd take them off and you'd see the stupid indent. And the worst part is I wear a CPAP machine to sleep and that also straps right in the same spot. So I'd wear it for stream for 2 or 3 hours. I'd sleep with it for 8 or 9 hours. So the indent was almost permanent. And so it's like those things really bugged me because there was nothing I could do to hide it. Whereas with hair, it's like I can just like dishevel it and then you can't tell that I have a bad hairdo. Yeah. Yeah, Stewie. No, I know. I did a lot of musical theater and a lot of dancing in it. And yeah, when you're that sweaty, it can really suck. And in this, it's even worse because it's glued in and it's a poly system. It doesn't breathe. So when I sweat, the heat just stays, which makes me overheat. So I'm nervous about the first time I audition for a show. And if I get into a musical and have to dance, I'm a little bit anxious about that. But yeah, and for me, it was the opposite, Stewie. Shaving my head limited what I could do acting wise. Because it aged me. I actually had an audition a couple of 4 or 5 weeks ago now. This is the last thing I'll say and then I'll start the game. I had an audition 4 or 5 weeks ago. I auditioned. They gave me the role and it was the lead role and it was an ideal husband. So he has his fiance and he's been lying to her about his age. And the girl that was going to be that girl was like 26-ish years old. And so like, yeah, I'm 10 years older than her, but at least you can believe that. But then she dropped out and then they had a 19-year-old. And then the director had us audition together. And he's just like, I can't. He's like, you just look too old for her. And so it's like the shaved head aged me a lot more, whereas having hair has made me not look younger, but I look more refreshed, which means I could pass off as younger on stage. So for me, shaving my head was actually the opposite problem. It caused me less stress, but it caused me more issues on stage, which really sucked. Yeah, Ghost, I love it. I was just saying a second ago, I ripped it though. So I was like all super paranoid that it was going to be really obvious, but you can't see where it happened. I can feel it, but you can't see it. I'm going to have to replace it again, but it's on now because I had to fix it today and I tore it in the process, but it's on now. It's hidden. And so I'll be able to wear this for another 4 weeks and I should be okay. But I love it. Ghost, you have no idea. I love it so much. Yeah, it tore over here like fully, like it's a tear about this big, like it's big. But then like I put it together and then like moved the hairs out of the way and retaped it so it would stay and then used the tape that I used to stick it to my head. So at least it's like holding the piece together and holding it to my head. So it shouldn't move at all. But it was nerve wracking when it happened. I thought I wasn't going to save it, but I love it. I absolutely love it. It took me a few days to get used to it because it felt like I was wearing like just a lump of hair on top of my head because I hadn't seen myself with hair. But now like I look at videos, I look at myself on camera and I'm like, nah, it looks pretty decent. Doesn't look too bad. Hair MacGyver. No way. I was like Hair Mr. Bean. I had to get help because I messed it up bad. Like I had hair stuck to the glue and it was a nightmare. Almost all your teeth pulled. And you still don't have, that can be really hard, Bitsy. That's another one that's really hard on people because teeth shape your face and losing your teeth totally changes the shape of your face. And when you're young, it's very, very hard self-esteem wise. Hopefully you get replacements soon because that can be life-changing as far as self-esteem is concerned. Especially if you had problems with your teeth to begin with, you always become self-conscious as those problems occur. But that allows you to kind of get rid of those problems, and then once you get the dentures put in, you should feel a lot better. I'm hoping that they do it soon, though. It felt so you. Yeah, and Stewie, sometimes that look really works for people. I just didn't feel like me when I looked at myself in the mirror. Like, I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, yeah, like, I look fine, but I didn't feel like me. Because I've used this phrase many, many times. Growing up, I was a pretty boy. Like, that's who I was. I was a pretty boy. I was like... For those of you who are way too young, you will not know this kind of person. I don't know about in the States, but I'm assuming in the States, people like me existed. Ghost would probably know and probably cringe and roll her eyes. I was like the pretty boy with like the popped collar, the shirt that was like fairly tight pants, and like always had product in my hair and did like spikes and everything and like rolled my sleeves up and spent far too long trying to look good just to go to school every day. That was the kind of guy I was. So when I went bald, like, I'm not a kid. I'm not going to be the pretty boy anymore, but like I liked taking pride in how I looked. And when I went bald, it's like I didn't have a choice on how I looked. It's just I looked the way I looked. And no matter how much I tried sleeping and resting and whatever, I always felt like I looked tired. And now with the hair, it's like, no, now I can actually see that I look awake when I do my hair up and I'm all done. Like, I feel like there's a change between the I just woke up and the I'm ready for my day. Whereas when I was bald, it was like the only difference is I am now dressed. But it didn't feel like I looked like I was ready for the day, if that makes sense. I do, Crypto. I do. The punk kid? Yeah, I was never the punk kid. Oh yeah, Ghost. So like, because I have issues with socializing. I was extra nice most of the time. I was a bit of a jerk. I wasn't like some of those guys were, but I was a bit of a jerk because I figured that that's kind of how I was supposed to act. But it wasn't very long. I was always very, very insecure because I don't get people, right? I really don't understand people. But I could be a jerk sometimes. But yeah, a lot of those guys, a big thing with those guys, especially at the school I went to when I was that age, the guys that were like that were usually very rich and very, very arrogant and into themselves. Whereas like I was into myself in the sense of like, I want to make sure I look good all the time, but I never thought I actually was good looking, if that makes sense. Now that I look back, I'm like, man, I was pretty cute. What the hell was I thinking? But yeah, no, I was never one of, like, I wasn't the kind that was like beating kids up that weren't like me. The weirdest part was like when I was about 17, I stopped hanging out with those guys because I hated being that fake. And I started hanging out with all like the emo punk nerd kids. And I always stood out because they were always like, you know, they wear leather and the really big pants with like the big pockets, like the big jeans, you know what I'm talking about? And then there was me with like my tight pants and like my popped collar and my super spiked hair, but not like punk rock spiked. I'm talking like pretty boy spiked. And, you know, with the stupid necklace, you know, the shell necklace, one of those. And they're all sitting there with like their chains on their wallets, and like I stuck out like a sore thumb. But I liked them so much more than the guys that I was hanging out with before because we could genuinely joke around about stuff. Whereas those guys, most of their jokes were either about sleeping with women or making fun of the guys who couldn't sleep with women. And so it was like, that wasn't fun for me. Whereas like the nerdy punk kids, we would laugh at like stupid crap of anything. You were a jerk to the jerks. Nice, Bitsy. Yeah, at 25, that's very hard, losing your teeth. Very, very, very hard. But at least you'll have dentures and your teeth will look nice. Take care of them because they're delicate. You know, but that I'm hoping that'll help your self-esteem a lot. I'm hoping that'll help it a lot. Looking like Spike from Buffy the Vampire. But yeah, that was me. Crypto, thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't see your compliment. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's been a weird journey, the hair thing. I never realized that I didn't feel like myself, if that makes sense. When I had no hair, I knew I didn't feel I can't say not confident. It's just I had no inspiration for anything, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like when I used to do theater, I was always excited. I was on the edge of my seat all the time of like the next rehearsal and pushing hard to make sure I knew all my lines, even though I was always the last one off book. But like I was super excited for the next audition and the next performance. And then the last few years I did shows and it was just kind of like go through the paces. I don't find that inspiration. I can't find that excitement. And that's kind of just how I felt about everything in life. And doing the hair was more of I've lost some weight. I'd like to do my hair to kind of just, I don't know, just kind of feel better now, like as a celebration that I've lost weight. And then I put the hair on and all of a sudden it's like, I feel that inspiration again. So it wasn't that I was lacking confidence. It's just, I didn't feel like myself. And because I didn't feel like myself, I'd go and do everything that I knew I liked, but it never felt right. And it was because I just didn't feel like myself. Now I feel like myself, and that blew my mind. I didn't expect that feeling. I expected a feeling of like, I feel more confident. It's like, I'm not necessarily more confident. I'm more comfortable now, which is weird. I did not expect that feeling at all. Yeah. Yeah, Bitsy. I totally know what you're referring to. Um, that can be very hard, you know, the way words are said. But when you get your dentures, it's probably not going to get much better for the first little while because it's a thing in your mouth and it's very hard to talk with stuff like that in your mouth. I had braces and I had like a bridge on the back of my mouth, and certain words I really struggled with. So you're probably going to struggle for a while after you get them. But I think you're immediately going to have that feeling like I have when you look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, I can smile in it and it's fine. I'm hoping that you get them soon. I'm hoping that you get them soon. Oh, Stewie, that's the worst. I hadn't done theater for a really long time. Then I did the Rocky Horror Show right before the pandemic. In like October before the pandemic. And then I did Matilda literally right before the pandemic. Like, I'm pretty sure I had COVID at the very end of that show. This was before we knew what it was or what was going on. This is when we were hearing, I remember sitting backstage with my mask on because I was so sick, watching them with like the trucks with the water hoses in China when it was all starting. I remember watching that, sitting backstage going, oh my God, this is going to be something serious. And I was deathly ill and everybody was laughing at me because I was wearing a mask backstage, and they're all going, don't wear the mask. I'm like, no, I'm really sick right now, guys. And I don't want to get you guys sick. And now everybody does it. So it's like, haha, I predicted it. But like, that was the last show I did. But in the area that I'm living in now, I haven't performed here in like 7 years. And the one theater I really liked performing at, I hadn't performed in like over 10 years. But that's because there's some bad blood there. And because I wasn't feeling comfortable with myself, I wasn't willing to kind of step into that room because I knew there was going to be a lot of gossip and I didn't want to deal with that. Now I'm not so worried about it. So I might audition for them again. I don't know. Buns of Wisdom. Hello. Been listening in the back. I appreciate that. That's one of the things that my channel is kind of about. I talk a lot. Although I should probably start playing. Be prepared. I might scream. That may not be so relaxing because I get scared and I scream and I freak out. So I'm going to try my best not to. I might not because I got a whole bunch of lights on. Usually I like dim all the lights and get really dark and scary. We'll see how I feel. What time is it? Yeah, it's like almost 12. So I've got a couple of hours. So let's get started, I guess. Oh man. But yeah, those were the deep talks of like finding yourself. That can be interesting. It can be scary. It can be really exciting. When I read about the hair system thing, one of the things that everybody talked about was when you first get it, you're going to feel so self-conscious that everybody knows, and you're going to like almost beat yourself up because you've done this now and it's so much maintenance and everybody knows and you look like a fraud. Thankfully, I didn't have that experience. My experience was like, I'm me again, and all of this is worth it. So I hope you have the same experience with your teeth, man. Hyper, hello, welcome back. You have returned and we have done nothing. I've literally pressed one button. Okay. Mute my microphone so I don't hear myself, but y'all should be able to hear me. Okay. I don't know how loud the game is. Hopefully it's going to sound okay. I am a trendsetter. I am such a trendsetter. Okay. So, okay, so we went to the locker and all it had was like shotgun shells or something, right? So that's not a huge thing. We should probably get it, but that's not exactly what we're supposed to be doing. What do I have in my inventory? I have a battery. Oh, and there's the one chain that needs to cut, and that's how I can get to that one door. I think that's what we were doing. Okay, let's make some more bullets because can always... Whoops, wrong thing. Barack the Pimp. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, Stewie, the VR thing I think is really cool. I think that's a really cool concept of how things are going. Like, seeing people do live concerts and stuff all through VR, stand-up comedy, all of that, I think it's really cool to see. I miss the live aspect of things, you know, like being on a stage and hearing the mess ups and the live music and feeling the drums. I miss that stuff. But yeah, VR is a really, really cool opportunity for a lot of people. Hyper, you're too kind. Okay. It's hard for me to tell if the volume is okay. I hope the gameplay volume's okay. We're in silence right now. I'm scared that once I shoot the gun, it's gonna like burst your eardrums. Okay, so up here, that's the jack, that's the dial lock, that's the safe. Where's the chain door? Locked door, chained door. It's downstairs. Okay. What did the note say? Second office to the west office in the first floor. Okay. Yeah. Buns of wisdom. Yeah. Like, I have a very hard time socializing. VR is... I still can't even socialize in VR, but it opens the door for a lot of people who can't socialize face-to-face. That extra bit of socializing in a virtual world gives you that little bit of a shield where you can, like, be socializing with somebody without having to have them in your real face, watching your facial expressions and feeling like you're being judged, even though they're probably not judging you. That feeling. Same with people who can't do certain things in real life. Like, they physically cannot do certain things, but VR allows them to do that. That's also a really cool thing. Yeah, VR chat was life-changing for a lot of people. A lot of people loved VR chat. Okay. Ryan, you're almost a married man. Stop it. How are you, man? Congratulations. How was your Christmas? I want to say the safe. Oh, I already did the safe. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's the chain door. If I go out this door, I swear there's like a million. Oh no, I can't go through this hallway anyway. I have to go the long way where there's stupid liquors and all that. Oh, this is gonna suck. Yeah, Hyper. In these games, you really can't. Not until you like shoot a gun or something. That's when you hear how loud it actually is. It was good. It was quiet. We went to my brother's. We had dinner. I got stuck in the snow a few times. I damaged my car. I'm really upset about that. Thankfully, it's nothing too serious. I'm hoping to fix it over the next few days. And then we came home and just kind of relaxed. We did a small thing with Nora. She opened a few gifts, and we didn't get anything too major. Money was tight. It was a bad time. We had a couple of things happen at work, which just messed up Christmas completely. But my Christmas was still good because I have hair, and that to me, it was more than enough. Even though it wasn't a Christmas gift, it was still more than I could have ever asked for. Okay, so I gotta go up here. Oh, so nerve-wracking. I really hope I don't get banned from TikTok. I'm so scared. Oh. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. They're everywhere. Turn to the right and in the door. Turn to the right and in the door. Turn to the right and in the door. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. I panic a little bit, everybody. Ever since you're working on well, Buns, it's that double-edged sword. You're working on something that's kind of taken away your opportunity to celebrate Christmas, but you're working on something exciting, so I hope it's worth the trade-off. But That's cool. That's really exciting. Always being part of something like that behind the scenes is always really cool. I haven't had many opportunities to do something like that. I got to work with one company for a little while. Signed an NDA and everything about it. And then they ghosted me, and that really sucked. They switched media partners, like the person running their media outreach stuff. He got promoted and somebody else stepped in, and then that guy ghosted me, and it really sucked. They never released the product anyway. They were supposed to release it over a year ago, and they never did. So I don't think they just ghosted me. I think they ghosted everybody who had that product. Good, I'm glad it is. I'm glad it's exciting. That's cool, Raging. Stewie, that's really cool. That kind of stuff is what's cool about VR. People who haven't played VR, it's hard to kind of comprehend how being in the room with somebody that's on the other side of the planet is not the same as being on just like Discord or on a voice chat. You're physically there with them, so you can see their hands moving and stuff, and those little details can make it so much more immersive, and in turn make it so much more social. And like what you're saying, having pizza together, even though you're alone in your home, but you're both sitting there in VR having pizza, can be huge. Okay, so we got the trigger thing to blow it up or whatever. So we're good with that. Oh, should I take those? I don't have space, do I? A little bit of space, not a lot. Yeah, Buns. Yeah, I don't really know much about game development and stuff. I've never really been super involved in that kind of world. Like, you know how some people are fans of certain developers and they know all the ins and outs of what's happening? I never have any clue about anything. But I'm also, like I said, I'm not very good at socializing, so I kind of keep my distance from everything. Okay, so this is done. I don't need that anymore. I can combine these two to save space. I do have a red herb, which I can combine. Okay. Okay. Oh, I got more shotgun shells. I didn't even realize it. Okay. So now we need to blow that thing up that's way up here in the west storage room. Pretty sure this one is the one that I type in cap and I can get something useless. I can't remember what it is though. But yeah, I'm always impressed with people who do the whole game industry thing. There's a lot of problems in the game industry right now, and I make videos about it, and people think that I hate the gaming industry, and that's not it. It's that there are issues, and I want to like bring light to the bad parts, so then we can hopefully, you know, sometimes if you bring light to the negative, it kind of helps get rid of it. But I think it's really cool that we live in a time now where any person can just kind of bring up a little bit of money or dedicate lots of time and release their own game. And they can have huge success from, you know, a hobby, which would have been much, much harder to do 30, 40 years ago. It was still possible. It was almost all indie stuff back then. But getting like mainstream success back then wasn't a thing. And now you can have somebody who sat in their basement for 3 years working on a game single-handedly, and they have a multi-million-dollar game in their hands, all because of technology around them making it accessible, which I think is super cool. This is not where I wanted to go. Vinyl Record, hello, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, Stewie, I haven't played it, again, because I don't socialize. It's not a game that I would really ever play, because Among Us isn't very fun by yourself. But it looks really cool. I heard it's a lot more fun and way more immersive. If I was more inclined towards working, like playing with people, I think it would be a really fun game. The game I had a lot of fun with that I didn't expect to was Green Hell, but that one's frustrating. Buns, don't say sadly. I always feel like a fraud saying it because there's a lot of like there's reasons that I don't have like a legitimate full-blown diagnosis, but speaking with my doctor and stuff, we're pretty sure I'm on the spectrum. My nephew is 100% on the spectrum, but it's not a sadly, it's just having to figure out a different way to deal with society. But it's not a sadly. It can be frustrating, I'm sure, with like, you know, depending on depending what your limitations are, it can definitely be frustrating when you're struggling. But it's not sadly. There's a lot of, you know, there's certain things that type of mind can do that the typical quote unquote mind can't. Crap. Well, I'm here now, so I guess we'll just do this. It can be definitely like a barrier in your way, but it can also be like a magnifying glass in other ways, right? Like I know of people who don't understand how I can spend hours and hours and hours researching something like photography. And like I think when I first got into photography, God, I must have spent like in a month, I must have spent well over 120 hours just reading and researching about different photography techniques. And like, it's not just like the history of photography. I'm talking like, you know, different settings, how they affect the pictures and different ways to take pictures and different ways to look at things and all of that. So in those ways, it's not a barrier. It's literally a magnifying glass that allows you to focus in on what you need. Although it can be very frustrating, for sure. Yeah, Stewie, I wouldn't like that. Yeah, the little kid thing I think would be too much for me, Stewie. Yeah, ADHD, that is something that I am diagnosed with, and that, yeah, that can be really hard. That can be really, really, really hard sometimes. You know, there are moments where I know I'm supposed to do A, B, and C, and I get distracted, and then the end of the day happens, and I realize I didn't do A, B, or C. Like right now, my day off, it's the only day of the week that I can do my laundry. And I didn't start doing it till like 5 in the afternoon. And then I did one load. And then I threw a second load in right before I started streaming. And I'm hoping I'm going to remember when I'm done streaming. Yeah, Stewie, I've heard some of the language. I've really heard some of the language. It's, yeah, no thanks. Okay, so the stupid liquor is going to come get me. Do I have a flashbang or anything? I do not. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, Buns, that's where my biggest thing is. I don't really get people. Simple, you know, example for me. I did theater. I went to school for it. I was very, very good at it. I graduated top of my class and everything. And every time I did a show, directors wanted to talk to me, agents wanted to talk to me, and then it never went anywhere. Most of my acting circle would always say, you know, like, if anybody's going to do this professionally, it's going to be you, and that kind of thing. Yet I never did. And I have friends who were less naturally skilled than I was, worked just as hard as I did, and they're professional full-time actors now. And one of the reasons is they know how to socialize and connect with people, and I don't. And so, like, I have friends that I have, like, on Facebook and stuff. Yes, I'm old. And I watch them connect each other to each other and tell each other about auditions and all this stuff, and I was never included in that. And so, like, that was a very big hindrance for me, because when it comes to art, a lot of it is who you know. And if nobody likes you because you just don't understand how to socialize with them or keep connected with them, it's very hard to get those connections to open doors for you. It's the same thing in high school. When I was in high school, up until relatively recently, I was always, I was a popular kid. I had a lot of friends. But now that I've kind of been exploring all this with my doctor and all that, it wasn't that I had a lot of friends. It was my best friend had a lot of friends. And everybody put up with me because of him. Because if I'm honest, one of the things that would happen is every weekend we'd all go home and I'd be at home all weekend. We'd come back on Monday and they would all talk about all the things they did all weekend long. And I was never invited to any of them. And even though they all said they liked me, they never invited me. Because I just wasn't their friend. I was the tag along, even though I was part of the circle. And it was that I don't understand how to read people. And so for me, it was like, yeah, they all like me. Now I look back and I'm like, no, they never really did like me. They just kind of put up with me. And even now, that best friend, him and I fell out of talking to each other. We started talking recently, and he pointed out a bunch of stuff that I did that I didn't realize I was doing because I just wasn't reading the situation right. So I totally feel you there. That's where I struggle too. That's my biggest struggle out of all of it. Sensory issues is more just sounds. Outside of that, like I'm okay with tastes, and feel is mostly okay, but sounds really bother me, and the socializing is a big part for me. Vinyl records. You want to go to college for theater? Theater can be really fun. It's very challenging. It's very, very competitive. And it's even worse now than it was when I went to theater school. Because when I went to theater school, social media wasn't what it is now. It wasn't as easy to blow up from nothing to everything as it is now. Which means it's much more competitive now. Because you don't have to be talented to blow up. And so they'll overpass talented hard workers for somebody who's viral at the moment. It can be very, very hard on your self-esteem, like insanely hard on your self-esteem. Like I met with an agent and he was ready to sign me, and the only prerequisite he had to sign me, because he really liked me and he was looking for a Latino man, he wanted a comedic actor, and that's kind of my niche. And his only prerequisite is that I would get face surgery because he thought my face was too round, and he thought that I needed to thin out my face a little bit more. And that sucks to hear. I did a dinner with a director once, and one of the questions he was asking me, we were just chatting, and he's like, what's a dream role you have? This is when I was like 24. I was pretty young. I was like, I'd love to be in West Side Story. He's like, oh yeah, you'd never be in West Side Story. I'm like, yeah, I'm not a dancer. I know, but I would love to be in that show. And he's like, oh no. He's like, you can fake dancing. That's not a big deal. Everybody can learn to pretend to dance. He goes, you're just too ugly. And he didn't mean it as an insult. He didn't mean it as in like, you're an ugly dude. He just meant it in a very analytical way. And people get really upset when I say this because they think I'm beating myself up. But it's just the way it is. I'm the kind of guy that walks into a room and you're like, he's a fine looking guy, but I don't stand out in any way. Whereas like when you're going to be a romantic lead, you want the person to walk in and everybody go, oh my God, he's so cute. Or, wow, he's a handsome guy. Whether or not you're attracted to them, you have to be able to accept that they're handsome. I'm not to that level, right? I'm not ugly, but I'm not the kind of guy that turns heads when I walk in a room. I'm very, very neutral. And so my skills can get me to that level, but my physique doesn't. And sadly, when you audition, it's a headshot they look at. They only care about what you physically look like to even get you in the room. So it can be very hard. You have to be prepared to kind of hear those things, and to be truthful with who you are. And that can be very hard. So I'm not saying this to deter you from being an actor. What I'm getting at is go into it because you are passionate about it, because you want to learn about it, and because you want to find who you are, because theater can teach you a lot about yourself and acceptance of, the people around you, and like being open about things that you may be uncomfortable with. That's how I learned a lot about eye contact, is through theater school, and it sucked, but I can do eye contact now, which is one of the reasons why I tell people when I tell people that I'm potentially on the spectrum, they go, no, you're not, you're looking me in the eyes. It's like, yeah, because I learned that in school. I trained myself to stare people in the eyes when I talk to them. But after all that, theater school it's not like becoming a doctor or a nurse where like you have a certificate, now you can work as a nurse and as long as you have an okay record, you can work. Whether or not I would have gone to theater school, I'd be in the same spot that I'm in now. But theater school taught me a lot about myself and who I am and how I see the world, and how comfortable I am with myself. And it taught me a lot about being able to like comprehend certain aspects of society that a lot of people don't really open up to, that we're like not allowed to talk about or not allowed to feel. So theater school can be great. I honestly think that it's a really cool experience, but theater school is like putting on your shoes before training for a marathon. You're going to do the bulk of your learning, the bulk of your actual training after you're done theater school. Theater school is going to teach you the basics on how to read a script, on how to analyze a line, on how to like stretch and learn to like feel your body and stuff. But that's the beginning. Everything else you're going to learn down the road, and you're going to train for the rest of your life. And that's when your skills are really going to come into play. So if you're prepared for that, go for it. Theater is awesome. I love theater. I wish that I would have continued with it a lot longer than I did. W neutrality. Yeah, Stewie. And that's one of the things that some people will struggle with in either direction, right? Some people prefer doing, their own thing with the character. Some people prefer being told what to do with the character. I am of the latter. I want to be told what to do. I don't I like to explore my own way to deliver the line, but I want you to tell me what you're expecting from me. It's one thing that my directors always hated. Every time I would do a show and I'd be doing like a monologue or a solo, and there would always come a point where they'd be like, okay, now what do you want to do here? And I'd be like, I don't know, just tell me what to do. They'd be like, no, I'm giving you the freedom. And it's like, no, I want you to tell me what to do, because I need you to give me the direction, and then I'll do my own thing with that direction. But if you're just kind of telling me to direct myself with it, nope. Yeah, I suck at that. I suck at that. Whereas I have other friends that are like, no, I'm going to do it the way that I feel is best for me. And then they shine. I can't do it that way. But they struggle when the director goes, no, I don't like that idea. I want this idea. And then that's where they kind of butt heads and they can struggle. I'm more of the, no, if you like that idea, let's do it. And I would totally change my character based on what you want. So yeah, I can totally see where you would struggle with something like that. Preston, how you doing, man? Ah! What was that? Oh, it was the bomb that I just set off. How you doing, Preston? Yeah, see, and it can be obnoxious to some people for sure. But acting, Preston, professional actor. And I'm not talking like professional, like he runs in like a dinky theater in the middle of a bar. Like he's professional, touring like the States and everything, and Canada as an actor. He can vouch for it. He's done shows that absolutely rubbed him the wrong way. But it's a team effort, and in the end, what the director says is what goes. And so if you're not willing to bend the knee when the time comes, it can be very limiting as an actor. They do want you to make your own decisions. They want you to be able to think on your feet, but they also want you to kind of bow your head down and just say and do what they want you to say and do. It's a fine balance, and it's a hard balance to kind of figure out. I'm so nervous. I have to go in there. But I don't want to. Aiden, I appreciate that. I can be well-spoken, Aiden. Sorry, I'm trying to watch two chats. For anybody who's popping in, I'm on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time right now. I try to be well-spoken, but I freeze a lot. Like podcast-wise, I can struggle quite a bit. I'm in talks of potentially taking part on somebody else's podcast in the near future. Not too sure if and when that'll happen. But again, the only reason I'm well-spoken at all, one, is the spectrum thing. It really irritates me when people don't speak clearly, and that's not like a judgment on them. It just bugs me. It's something that's just ingrained. But I also sang all my life, and I did theater school, and one of the things that was very, very big on that is articulation, being clear when you speak, and not speaking in the boring, monotone way that a lot of people speak naturally. Canadians have a very bad habit of going up in the ear inflection, like I just did a second ago when I said naturally. And that was something they worked really hard on kind of getting rid of within us. So I can't take the credit for being articulate. Part of it is just my own mental struggles, and part of it is, oh my God. And part of it is the training that was like ingrained into me. Oh, Preston, I was saying this earlier. So I was having really, really, really bad itching. I was worried that I was like breaking out in a rash, that I might have been like allergic to the glue or whatever. It's expected that it's going to be itchy when you sweat and it gets hot, but like I was itchy all day long for the last 3 days, and it was to the point where it was like hurting. And not hurting like it was raw, hurting like I felt like I might have had hives or something. So it felt like bruises when I would like try to like massage my scalp, or I would like brush the hair out, and as I was brushing, the teeth would like rub on my skin, and it helped with the itching, but it hurt at the same time. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to pull back the front. I'm going to fix the front end because it was getting a little bit dirty. I'm going to fix the front end a little bit, and then I'll like wipe down my head and see like that, make sure there's no rash, and then just make sure that like everything's okay. And so I pulled it back, and then as I was pulling it back, I couldn't get the tape off, so I had to like fully remove it. And then I got Alana to try to help me with the back just to like line it up. And then I went to go put the rest on, and I forgot to remove the cover from the double-sided tape. And so as I was removing it, hair started sticking and it became a huge mess. So I had to take it all off, and I started removing the fresh tape because it was sticky, but it hadn't cured yet. So it wasn't fully sticky. And as I was pulling it off, I tore the damn thing. So it's got a rip on the actual like base of it, and it's big, like it's like a 3-inch rip. And I started freaking out because I thought like I wasn't going to be able to save it. And then Alana sat with me, and she like moved the hair out of the way, and I took the double-sided tape and retaped it to make sure it stuck, and I was able to fix it. You can't tell, I can feel it when I touch it, but I can't see it. Funny enough, the guy who put it on originally left a few wrinkles in, so when I touched it, it felt like I had like a plastic bag on my head. Alana actually put it on better the second time I got her to fully put it on. And it's actually like skin to skin contact, and it doesn't feel like I have a bag on my head anymore. It hasn't been itchy all day, but when I was rubbing my scalp to like prep my skin, it was full of a bunch of little hairs. Like, you know, when you get shaved, like with the trimmers and stuff, and you get all those little tiny hairs, and you know when they get in your shirt and your shirt becomes like insanely itchy? That's what had happened. A layer of like little hairs had gotten stuck between the base of the system and my skin. And so as time was progressing and I was sweating, that was irritating my scalp. So I was able to get all those little hairs out, and now it's all clean and fresh tape and everything. And Alana put it on right. So I'm sad that I ripped it. I was really worried that it was going to be really obvious, but it doesn't seem to be. And now hopefully the itching will be gone because all those little hairs are gone. But oh my God, it was a nightmare of a day. It was a nightmare of a day. Oh man. Oh yeah, Stewie. That can be hard too. When they want certain things out of your voice that you just don't have the range, or you don't know how to get to that area in your voice, that can be really, really hard. Exactly, Preston. That's the whole thing. Is my worry was that I wasn't going to be able to fix it, and it takes them about almost 2 weeks to get it to me. So I'm like, what am I going to do for 2 weeks? Because I can't shave my head because I want the blend, but I don't want to be with a freaking horseshoe and go back to wearing a hat all the time. I'm like, God damn it. Like, and working with a hat on is a nightmare because I sweat at work, and I'm like, I don't want to have to wear a hat while I'm at work, but I'm not going to walk to work with a friggin' horseshoe going on. What am I going to do? So thankfully I fixed it. My plan is, now that it's settled and all the little hairs are gone and stuff, I'm hoping it won't get itchy. I'm going to try to wear this now for another 4 weeks. And at the 4-week mark, I'm going to email the guy and tell, or at like the 2.5-week mark, I'm going to email him, tell him it tore and that I was able to do a temporary repair, but if he can send me a new one so I can replace it. And then by then 4 weeks will have passed. The glue should be pretty loose and I should be able to get it off. And I'll keep this as a spare in case something happens. And then I should have a new one and cough up the money and get Aaron to cut it and put it on my head and everything. Yes, Aiden. Yes. Yeah, Preston, it was weird at first to get used to. When I would see myself, I was like, it looks really fake in the mirror. But in pictures, I was like, no, it looks pretty decent. And now it's like, as I've gotten more and more used to it, it's gotten a lot flatter, and it's gotten softer. The hairs have become very, very soft. And so like it feels very, very natural now, and it looks almost imperceptible. Like this is week 2. And like the hairs have grown in a bit more, so it's blending a little bit more. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I think in another 2 or 3 weeks, this hair will be long enough that it will blend really well, and then it should be pretty much imperceptible. The the hairline is a little bit higher than it was when Aaron put it on, which I prefer because I'm older. I should have a bit of a higher hairline, but you knew me before when I had really thick hair, and this is how thick my hair used to actually be. So this is what my hair was. It should be thinner because I'm older now, but it's very, very natural. I'm very impressed with how natural it actually looks. All right, Vinyl. Have fun with your cousins, and I hope you have yourself a good night. Good luck. I hope you pick a good theater school. Even if you don't, take what you can from it. There's a lot of skills you can learn from theater school, a lot of basic skills on how to do the basics, how to analyze scripts and stuff. Listen to all of that. I wish I would have listened more. If your school teaches you business, please pay attention to business, because that is so imperative. That's one thing that my school did not teach. But good luck. And if you do theater school, enjoy every minute of it, because I loved theater school. There were a lot of issues, and my school was not a good school, but I loved theater school. And I really wish that I could have gone to the second school that I was supposed to, but life got in the way, and that's okay. Okay, I don't know who Eddie VR is. Sorry, on TikTok, Aiden just said, I look like Eddie VR. I don't know who Eddie VR is. I've heard this many times. And I want to say I've looked him up before, but I can't remember. But I have heard this before. Okay, with hair, yes. I see it with hair now that I have hair. And if I had my glasses, yeah. Yeah, I kind of do look like him. Before, somebody else said it when I was bald, and I was like, I don't look like Eddie VR. Are you crazy? I lost my glasses, so I can't even put my glasses on to be like, look. Tiff, how are you? How are you? I don't know what Mary Baldwin is. I'm assuming that's the school you mean. I'm in Canada, and I don't know many schools to begin with, but I'm sure you're going to pick something that's going to work for you. And like I said, even if it's not a very good school, take what you can out of it. Learn what you can. Make the connections that you can, and you'll learn more when you get out. So don't hold that. Like, if the school isn't good, don't think that that's the end of your training and it's over. You will find people to coach you one-on-one, and that's where you're going to learn all your main skills. So just enjoy life, you know? Yeah, I had Aiden, and I'm surprised now that I have hair and I look at it. I'm like, yeah, I totally do. Back then I was like, we're both Latinos? That's about it. I don't know if he's Latino, but he looks like it. That's about it. Now I see it. Now I see it. Well, I appreciate that, Tiff. I can't believe it's been 2 years. That's crazy. So much time has gone by. So much time. So crazy. And you, when you popped in, if I'm not mistaken, you didn't watch streams or anything. Like, it was just one of those, you clicked on my page and just kind of hung out, and then started to kind of get into the world of streaming, and now you're a full-blown streamer. It's so cool. I hope work is going well, though. The other one that I used to get a lot, Aiden, when I was younger, now I don't see it anymore, but when I was younger, I used to get Jay Hernandez. He's not really that big like he used to be back in like the early 2000s, but I used to get a lot of Jay Hernandez when I was younger. Okay, so we need the lady, the bow, and the snake. Is that the lady? I think that was the lady. The lady, bow, and I think is that the snake? I think. Yeah, that was the snake. Deciding whether Canada or Australia is a good country as a foreigner to live. Canada is struggling a lot right now. We're having very similar issues to what's happening in the United States here. We're not as far advanced as what's happened in the United States, but we're having a lot of the same issues happen here. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get into it because I really don't. I have my own stance on it as a healthcare worker. But depending on what your stance is on COVID, Australia is far more strict than Canada is. I considered for a very long time moving to Australia. I wanted to go to Australia. That's where I kind of wanted to live. The weather is far nicer in Australia than it is here. We have nice weather, but it can get pretty rough here. And Australia is very beautiful for the majority of it. As far as like laws and the way people are treated overall, they're very similar countries. There's a lot of very, very similar things, but Australia is stricter in general. There's a lot more banned games there and stuff. So there is more strictness in Australia, but overall it is a very similar country to Canada. I think you'll be happy either place that you go. I'm a little bit biased because I wanted to go to Australia, so I would say Australia just because I wanted to go there. That being said, I love Canada. I've always loved Canada, and like I always said, if I could just like move Canada on the globe to a warmer part of the world, I'd be much happier. But either or, I think you would be happy. Yeah, Aiden, we're in the same boat. I'm in Ontario, and we're in the same boat. A lot of privatization push is happening here. You know, they've been reducing our pay. I was in healthcare, and I quit because of Doug Ford. Reducing our healthcare. Wait times in hospitals are ridiculous right now. It's scary and it's sad. I can't talk about Australia because I've never lived there as far as that's concerned, Buns. I do hear there is a problem there, especially with their Indigenous people, but Canada's no better. Canada treats their Indigenous community horribly. That's probably one of the worst things about Canada is that it's not even like, you know, oh, everything's hunky-dory and that's kind of bad and that's the worst part of it. No, like it's legitimately like criminally bad here. There is definitely racism. As a Latino, I do experience it here, not to the level that I did in the States, for sure, but I definitely experienced it here. And as you can tell, I'm not very dark-skinned. But by hearing my name, seeing my features, I got called colored many, many times at work. I got refused entry into homes many times at work because I wasn't white. So it does exist here. I've heard Australia can be pretty bad too, though, but I can't speak on that firsthand. That being said, overall, Canadians are very accepting. We're starting to get our hateful group is becoming more and more vocal, so it's becoming worse. It's always been an issue, but it's never been something that's like ruined my life. It's just always been there. Now it's a lot more intense than it used to be. So I can't say that it's, you know, amazing here. But overall, like 80% of Canadians are fantastic. And so it's not a bad experience here, honestly. You're Indigenous? So yeah, you can vouch for it, Aiden. You can vouch for it. It's oh crap. Run, run! The liquor's coming! Oh god, it's gonna kill me! Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, it's not just like, oh, it's kind of bad. Like it's criminally bad here. But it's still, overall, Canada is still a better country than a lot of other places. So it's that kind of thing where it's like, man, I love it all, but that is such an embarrassment that it's not something you can just ignore. It's not like the you know, like for me, my face. I'm proud of my face, except for my stupid scar on my nose. I can ignore that though. It's kind of like saying we're gonna ignore my nose in general. You can't really ignore my nose. It's pretty bad for that. Yeah, Buns, honestly, you won't know until you try it, right? Like, you can come to Canada and have a totally different experience than me. I've met people that have come to Canada and hated every second of it. I've also met people who come to Canada and think it is the greatest place on planet Earth. It really depends on your experience. It depends on where you end up living. right? There are certain parts of Canada that are far worse than others. Like if you're in downtown Toronto, that place is so multicultural. It is so full of a variety of people that what I say might seem like a complete lie. Or you can go to like rural Alberta and you're going to think that what I said was an understatement. So it kind of all depends on your experience and what you're doing. But I'm sure the same can be said for Australia. You can go to places in Australia that I'm sure are going to be the most fantastic place in the world. And you can go to places in Australia that you would absolutely hate. So I can't fully give you an answer. If it's an option, I would say try one and then try the other down the road. Right? Like if you're still young, you have time. Right? I waited too long. Because Australia has something like a rule that it's like after the age of 30, if you want to go live there permanently, they won't accept you because now you're too old to contribute to their system. You can go and retire there eventually, but like from the 30 to like 65, they don't really accept anybody permanently there because you can't really contribute at that point. Like you can, but it's not going to be enough to help. So I missed my window. But I would say try it. You only live once, right? You could spend a year in one place and a year in another and kind of make a decision on what you want to do. Oh, buns. No, only if you go to Quebec. Only if you go to Quebec. Even like in Ottawa, you'll get some French that's much more common. But like outside of Ottawa, anywhere to like the west of Ottawa, you're going to get people that speak French the way I speak French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Louis. Like I know some verbs. I know how to ask where the washroom is, and I know how to say I don't know how to speak French. That's as far as I go. I can understand more French, but it's because I speak Spanish. But no, most of Canada does not speak French. We have French on all of our packaging. Whenever the Prime Minister gives a speech, there will be the English and the French mixed in with it. But no, don't even worry about the French. Unless you're going to Quebec in particular, don't even worry about it. Because the rest of Canada, we acknowledge it and we learn it in school, but we don't actually learn anything. Almost none of my friends speak French unless they went to a proper French immersion school. And even that French I hear is not very good French. So don't even worry about that part at all. I get asked that question all the time, is if I speak French because I live in Canada. I'm like, nope. I know a few words and that's it. And the little bit that I understand is because I speak Spanish and the language structure is similar. Yeah, Aiden, that's kind of where I am, right? There was a while, Aiden, that I was thinking about moving to Texas. The weather was beautiful. The city, I was in San Antonio, and the city was beautiful. I was like, I could live around here. This would be cool. And like the houses were more affordable than they are here, and the work that I did got paid better over there. And I was like, I could do this. But no, I like Canada. I like Canada. It's got its problems, but there are far worse places out there. Yeah, Buns, honestly, English is pretty much the only language people speak here. So don't even, like, outside of Quebec, don't even worry about it. Now, if you go to, like, the islands, because, yes, we do have islands here in Canada, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, they speak English, but their English gets worse and worse the more to the east you get. And then they get very close to, like, it's like English, like Canadian English mixed with, like, a thick Irish accent and something else. People that come from Newfoundland are very hard to understand if you aren't around them all the time. But they're still speaking English. It's honestly just Quebec that really holds on to the French. Now, if you go to Quebec, yeah, if you speak English, they get pretty upset with you. Tabernacle. Oh man, yeah, I dated a girl who lived like in northern Ontario, and her family, they were French, but they didn't even speak like Quebec French. Like they spoke like broken bad Quebec French. Their French was bad. But yeah, no, French isn't a huge thing here. It's more of like an honorary thing. It's kind of like when you go to the States, you know, knowing some Spanish helps because there are a lot of Latino people there, but it's not officially a language. And if you don't speak Spanish, you're not going to have a worse experience than if you do speak Spanish. It just can be more helpful. It's the same with French. having French is helpful if you're in Quebec, but if you don't speak French, there's a few streamers that I was friends with that were from like Ottawa and Quebec, and they spoke perfect English. Can't be said so much in reverse. We don't speak very good French. Yeah, Scottish people can be hard. Stewie. Stewie's from Scotland, right? I want to say you're from Scotland. Yeah, he's from Scotland.
So it goes underground. Huh. That's it.
He was talking
That's
on
our way
Twitch, and he's,
Marvin.
but he's got a far
Time
less
to go.
pronounced accent, so I don't know what part of Scotland he was in, but his isn't that very hard to understand Scottish
We need to get you to a hospital
accent.
right now.
No, save yourself.
Come on, I've got you.
Go!
Look, we can still make it out of here together. You just can.
It's too late. I tried, Leon. But I couldn't stop it. We can't let this thing spread. It's on you now. Just go.
I understand.
I thought there was a lot more to do at the police station, but I guess
Won't
not.
let you down, Marvin.
Can't complain. Can't complain. I'm glad that we're past the police station. We're playing on hard. No, it's the B scenario that Mr. X comes through and chases us the whole time. But he will come through eventually here. I know he is. I just don't know when. I think when we come back the second time. Yeah, and sometimes just understanding the language is more than enough. I have a family friend, and I have an aunt actually as well, who didn't speak Spanish at all. And they both married people who barely spoke English. And the man that I'm thinking of, he learned to speak Spanish, and he's gotten very good at speaking Spanish. But his wife, through the years, now speaks English, so they can communicate either way. But my uncle, who married an American woman, he didn't speak a word of English. Like, not... He calls his son Nichu. And that's not his name. His name is not Nichu. And he doesn't call him that as a nickname. He doesn't call him that as like an endearing way to say his name. Like, you know, with like Rob and Bob for Robert. No, it's not that. He literally couldn't remember that his son's name was Nathan. So he would just call him Nichu because that was the name he heard. But she started by understanding Spanish. And then everybody would be speaking and she would respond in English. She understood what we were all saying. So we would all be having conversations and she would answer us in English. Now she speaks it. And now it's hilarious because like she'll only speak Spanish with us. She refuses to speak English with us. Thick accent and everything. But understanding can get you a lot further than not understanding at all and knowing some words. So that's still a skill to have. Buns, the Resident Evil series is good. It's very cringy sometimes. The remakes are not, but the original ones can be very cringy sometimes with like the, oh, I didn't do the jewel thing. It can be really cringy, like B-class movies type of cringy. But it's a good series. It's convoluted. It's ridiculous. But I love Resident Evil. I honestly... It's what started my obsession with zombies. I have a zombie tattoo. I've got like a shelf full of Resident Evil and zombie stuff. I've literally got a zombie sitting on my desk because like Resident Evil 2 in particular, started my zombie obsession. We haven't had too many jump scares because I've been too busy talking, but it can also be very, very scary. The first few times I played this, I might do that next week. Turn off all the lights and just play in darkness. Maybe I'll set it up that way next time. Because when I'm in the dark, I get really freaked out. Right now, I'm sitting in the light, so it doesn't feel as scary. Still get jump scared, but not as bad. All right, Aiden, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for spending time with us. Have yourself a really good night. I hope you sleep well. And I hope I see you soon. Like you're planning to get a 4080 buns? Is that what you're is that what you mean by it's consideration now? What? Aw. I can't speak on the 4080. I've not used it or anything. The only thing I remember hearing, because I upgraded to a 3070, the only thing I do remember hearing is that it's overpriced for the performance. Oh God.
What the?
Is that it's overpriced for the performance that it gives you. Not that it's bad performance, it's just they hiked up the price so much that the amount of performance you get between like a 4080 and a 3080, the price isn't worth it. That being said, I still hear it's a very, very powerful card. I've got the 3070 and I am more than happy with it. Nothing slows this down. I am literally streaming to TikTok from my CPU. From my GPU. I'm streaming to OBS from my CPU and I'm still running Resident Evil. Only at 1080p because that's what I'm streaming at, I'm streaming at 720p, whatever. But I'm running Resident Evil with everything turned on, including ray tracing, and I'm running at close to 60 frames a second, if not at 60 frames a second at least. So I think if you get a 4080, you'll be very happy. I'd maybe suggest waiting or going for something a bit lower, only because money-wise, the leap in price may not be worth the upgrade you would get, but prices are really dropping. Although they're about to go up, so be prepared. If you're going to do it, pull the trigger soon, because with everything happening in China right now, the prices are expected to skyrocket again. But yeah, if you get a 4080, you're not going to need a card for a long time. And the 4080 will run these games. No questions asked. Whoa, God! I forgot about this. And here I was saying I don't get jump scared right now. Anybody who's hanging out and is enjoying the stream, I am hoping to be live tomorrow on TikTok only. Oh God! Oh God! It's gonna be much earlier in the day, and we're playing Dark Souls over there. For those on TikTok, I'm already here. We're playing Dark Souls here. Oh God, this is not good. Oh, this is scary. This is scary. All right, Tiff. It's nice to see you too, Tiff. Have yourself a very good night. Thank you for popping in. Congratulations on reaching 2 years. That's exciting. That is very exciting. And I hope your shift goes smoothly for whatever's left of it, and that you get some sleep when you get home. Oh, and Buns, this is nothing. There are moments, 7 and 8 get much scarier than this, but there are moments in this that can be very scary. Buns, I do a lot of I post a lot of my shorts on YouTube, but I do a lot more shorts or a lot more TikToks. I just never get around to posting them on YouTube because I forget. But yeah, I do a lot of like video game content there. I stream twice a week on TikTok. I'm doing the Dark Souls over there, and it's a much earlier stream than now. So like right now for me, it's almost 1 a.m. On TikTok, I'm usually live at around like noon, 12:30. So literally 12 hours from now, I'm live. Sorry, I'm drinking aloe and it's in my mouth. I'm trying not to spit it out while I'm talking. I'm usually live 12 hours from now on TikTok. And I play Dark Souls. We're doing a 1-stat challenge. It can vary up and down based on how the day is going. Sometimes I have like 100 plus people watching. Sometimes, like right now, it's only one person watching. It's Resident Evil. It's not really something people want to watch on their phone. But yeah, I post there a few times a week for sure, and I go live a couple times a week, so there's a lot more content over there. It's 7 a.m. Oh my god. yeah, so that'll be a nicer time for you. I used to stream at a very different time. Oh god. I can't anymore because of work. I thought his eye was gonna pop out. I thought his eye was gonna pop out. It didn't pop out. It didn't pop out. But yeah, I've had to change my schedule, which really messed with who used to watch me. It's a really uncomfortable time for a lot of people because people on my side of the planet are all in bed at this time, and people on the other side of the planet are all waking up for their day. So they're not really into watching a stream at this time, which kind of sucks. Oh crap! Oh, I don't want to waste it though. But yeah, that's why I do those like midday streams on TikTok a couple times a week, just trying to find different times that potential people could watch me. But yeah, it's Dark Souls over there, so it's not as scary. Definitely a lot less, Whoa! Uh-oh. No, don't die! Don't die! Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Dark Souls is a little bit easier to watch when you're on your phone. It's not the same as watching a scary stream. Scary streams, you kind of want to be more immersed. When you're sitting there on TikTok trying to watch a scary stream, it doesn't really work as well. Do I have? I don't have anything else. Okay.
No choice. Gotta take it down.
I was trying to get the shotgun out. I pushed the wrong button. Oh. Oh crap. Oh crap. Sorry. I know you're chatting. I'm distracted. Oh, again. Oh, that's the worst, Buns. I went to one semester only, that's it, of software engineering. That's the part I couldn't handle. I couldn't do it. I don't have the brain to analyze something and look at it in detail unless I am fully committed to it. And if it's not something I'm passionate about, then I can't be fully committed. And it can be very, very hard for me to find a problem, and in a code, you know, a semicolon could be an issue.
Where is he?
I hear him. I don't see him. Whoa, he's right behind me! Oh, I'm out. Ouch. Uh-oh, I've got no more health. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can respect concept art because like you gotta just make it up out of nowhere. They give you an idea of what they want. You just gotta kind of come up with some way to make it look good or whatever. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I don't have any other health options either. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm gonna get banned for this probably. Ooh. Ouch. Oh, I failed. I failed. Yeah, like I love video games, and I wish that I could have been more creative to partake in making video games. That was kind of what I wanted to do, is make video games, and I don't have the brain for it. Neither the artistic part nor the analytical part for like coding and stuff. I'm artistic, but not artistic enough for that. What I do wish that I could do is I wish that I could do some voices in video games. That would be something I would really love to do. Okay, let's take, I guess a flash grenade might help. Will a knife help? I don't know if I can stab him. Can I stab him? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not too sure. Okay, we'll find out. Okay, so next time I am going to, this is the last try, I am going to take the one green herb and mix it with the red herb, and I'm going to take the green herb I have now, so that way I'm at full health, and that should buy me at least one extra attack. Okay. How does the stream look on your end, everybody? Like, is it looking okay? I'm looking here on TikTok, and it seems to look okay. I'm streaming at 720p, which I don't normally do. I normally stream at 1080p, because I prefer the sharpness of 1080p. On TikTok, I'm willing to kind of deal with it because it's on a phone. It's usually a small screen people are looking on. But on Twitch and YouTube, you know, some people are sitting at computers, laptops, tablets. It's a lot less. It's a lot more difficult to hide. It looks nice. Okay. Okay. Yeah. On TikTok, my face is looking a little bit blurry. But what I've done is this square that I have for YouTube and Twitch. I've literally just like screen grabbed that. Like I'm screen capturing just that, and I've cropped it and then stretched it out. So like this isn't even 720p, and I'm stretching it out to take up half the phone. So the quality is quite low on TikTok for my face. The gameplay is nice and sharp, but the gameplay I'm literally just display capturing. But I was worried the 720p was going to be very... It was going to be the quality I would have lost may not have been the same. It wouldn't have been worth it, if that makes sense. But I think it looks okay. TikTok is probably the one that's going to suffer the most, but I think it looks decent. Okay, so let's try this again. It's going to attack me, so don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Here it comes. There it is. Yeah, Buns. On Twitch, even now, most people still do 720p. And 720p still looks okay. I just like the sharpness of 1080p. Because almost all of my screens are higher than 1080p, so the 720 is more noticeably bad. But yeah, for a long time it was fine, 720p. I've just always stuck to 1080p, so I notice when it's down to 720p. And I was worried that with... I lowered my bitrate quite a bit compared to what I normally run at. I usually output at like 100 megabits. And right... Or not 100. At 10,000 megabits. I think it's 10,000 megabits is normally what I output at. And right now, I am outputting at 4,000. So it's less than half. Because I figured I could reduce some of the load by lowering the resolution and lowering the bit rate and sending it out to both. Obviously, with the lower bit rate, you end up getting a lot more artifacting. But I think it's holding up okay. Oh god, there he is! I hope so. There was a boss fight later on in the game when I streamed this last, which was when this first came out, so 3 years ago. There was a boss fight that happens later on. I literally did a full stream of just that boss fight over and over again, and that's because the last stream I died at that boss fight over and over again. And that was a frustrating stream because I used to stream 3 hours consistently all the time. And it was 3 hours of literally fighting this dumb boss over and over and over again. Try to be a little bit more active, moving around.
No choice. Gotta take it down.
Oh, he's right behind me. Oh God, he's right there. Oh God, he's right there. Ah, he's right behind me. Ooh. I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. Oh God, he's right behind me. Oh, he's getting closer. Leon, run faster. That's a dead end. That's a dead end. That's a dead end. Okay. Okay. I'm almost out of shotgun shells. He's right behind me. Oh God, I'm so stressed out. Oh, stay away. Okay. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. I can't get out. Ah! He's so aggressive. He's so aggressive. Woo-hoo-hoo, that was so close. That was so close. He's right there. Oh man. I want to say that if I run out of bullets, he dies, but I don't know for sure. I can't guarantee that. Come on, dude. Stop chasing me. Give it up. Oh. What's he doing? Oh, he's trying to outsmart me. What a jerk. Oh, he got me. He got me. Oh. Yes. That's a dead end. Dude's got some real rage issues. I think he needs to see a therapist and work on those inner demons. Maybe that'll help with the outer demon. Oh God. I've only got 20 shots left. What am I supposed to do? Oh, okay. Woo! We did it. Ikibo! How you doing? I see how you doing. Oh, man. That relief. That relief.
Somebody's watching me.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just exploring to see if there's any bullets or anything that I missed in my state of panic. In my total state of relaxation and ease as I beat that boss without any problems whatsoever. I never once even panicked. It has been a while. How have you been? Yeah, I actually quit for a while. Streaming. I stopped for over a year, actually. It was like a year and like 3 months, something like that. A year, 2 months, something like that. I stopped. I can't remember the exact date that I stopped streaming. Life got really, really complicated. Timing wise, it just didn't work for me. I was commuting for work and I had a family and I was doing TikTok and TikTok was blowing up. And so I was dedicating a lot of time to that. And so the money I was making from streaming was good, but not enough to justify the amount of time I was spending away from family. And Alana needed more help at home. So it was kind of either I help her or the family's not going to be, you know, very successful. And so I had to cut something out and I cut streaming off completely. I actually wasn't planning to come back to streaming, but then I got a job that's night shift. It's very steady. It's not a very far drive. So I have a lot more free time on my hands. And so I was like, okay, I like TikTok. It can be kind of hard sometimes to deal with TikTok, but I miss streaming. And so I thought streaming would be a nice way to kind of relax. I was playing video games anyway when I was doing nothing. So I was like, why not do it live and at least get to hang out with some of the old people that I used to hang out with. And so I only started doing streams about a month ago. So you haven't missed too much. Okay, so I guess there's nothing. But yeah, I came back to streaming. I'm now on TikTok. I'm literally right now, I'm on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. But normally I stream here. Not at this time, though. I usually stream about 12 hours later. So, like, depending on your time zone, whatever time it is now, the opposite. Same time, but opposite time of the day. So if it's like nighttime, daytime. If it's daytime, nighttime. And we're doing Dark Souls right now, normally on TikTok. But yeah, been doing this for a little bit now. It's been fun. Yeah, Buns. You know, I don't have anything against TikTok overall. I like TikTok. That's been my biggest platform. And it's not a huge platform, but it's big enough. Like, I'm proud of my platform here. Or on TikTok. And I like the fact that I don't have to spend 25 hours editing a 10-minute video for 1,000 views. Instead, I can throw up a TikTok that can take me 10 minutes and get, you know, 1 million views on it. I've never gotten 1 million, though. I could get like 200,000 views on it, or I could take 3 hours and get 500 views on it. But the same can happen in reverse. I can do a really dumb, on my phone, 30-second TikTok, and it gets no views, and then I go and spend 3 hours on a 30-second TikTok, fully edited and everything, and it gets 800,000 views. So I like that you have an opportunity to get views. I also like the fact that it's connected me with a lot of businesses to be able to work with them, which is really, really cool. I get to try things that I would have never tried. But sometimes it's really hard to figure out the algorithm because you can't build a community, right? Like, I've got my dumb character on TikTok that I've always had on YouTube that my brother used to play. Now I do it myself. But people on YouTube, when they see him, they know kind of what the story arc is with that character. On TikTok, they don't know who that character is. So when they see him, there's not that initial, oh, he's back. It's just, what is this? So those parts of TikTok can kind of suck. But TikTok is very, very astonishing. And it's very... It catches you off guard all the time because you never know what's going to happen, what's going to be great, what's going to be a complete failure. And I like that. And a lot of people think it's like a kid's app and you can't do anything here, but like you can do quite a bit with it. Hey! Icy, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm assuming TikTok can hear those alerts, but they can't see those alerts. I gotta think about that next time. I gotta put those alerts up on TikTok so people can see them too. But thank you. I appreciate that sub. Yeah, TikTok is, I think it's underestimated by a lot of people. There's a lot of people that genuinely think it's about a bunch of teenagers dancing, which the most part, like the most popular part, that is what it is. But there's some cool stuff on TikTok. Like I've learned a lot of cooking stuff from TikTok that I would have never even known. Gaming facts are really fun on TikTok. Funny jokes on TikTok. TikTok can be cool. It can be really cool. Like I said, there's been opportunities that I've had on TikTok that I would have had nowhere else. And I think that in itself is worth the effort and sometimes the stress. Alrighty, it is 1:09. I have been streaming now for, it doesn't say. I cannot see how long I have been live. Oh, 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's not bad. I appreciate it. You know what? You've been here for a long time. Like, yeah, you saw the TikTok, right? Where I was talking about saying your name wrong for forever. You've been around forever, and I've always said your name wrong. Buns, if you can see it over there in the chat, Icy Bo there, has been around for years, like years and years. And the whole time I called him Icky Bo because I suck at names. I don't even remember how I found out what your actual pronunciation is, but when I found that out, like my jaw dropped. I was embarrassed, but I was like, my mind was blown that I was saying it wrong for so long and with such conviction. But I appreciate the sub. Seriously, just the fact that you've been around is a lot. I know streamers say that a lot, like just hanging out means everything to me. You don't have to sub. But like having such an OG person that sticks around and still pops in every once in a while, that to me is worth everything. That means a lot to me. Thank you for subbing, Buns. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I stream here at this time on YouTube all the time. On TikTok, I'm live. It's kind of up in the air right now. As it stands, it's usually Wednesday and Friday on TikTok. That might change. I work 6 days a week, but there's a guy who's potentially going to cover me one extra day so I can get 2 days off. And what I'm doing is I'm going to just have a longer night, another night in the week. And that would give me a little bit more flexibility, but that would mean I would have to kind of switch around my nights a little bit on TikTok or my days on TikTok a little bit. But as it stands right now, Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm live on TikTok. Thursdays, I'm live on YouTube and Twitch. Right now, I'm live on 3, which I don't know if I'm going to do that forever, but for now, I'm doing it because it doesn't hurt to stream on TikTok. So why not? And I watched a video recently, and the guy made a comment about how he is friends with somebody who's gained over 1 million followers on TikTok, and he doesn't make any TikToks. He only goes live on TikTok. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than just going live. But if there's that growth potential, I don't mind going live often on TikTok. It's just finding time to actually do it. Oh, man. Yeah, he found it as an insight. Oh, I see. You know what? And I'm not even mad about it. I'm not even mad about it. And for me, that's like every time I see somebody's name, I think of you immediately. So like that's become something now. It's not just like an embarrassing, like, oh my God, I always said your name wrong. I'm so stupid. It's more like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I said your name wrong. So now every time I say a name wrong, I just think of you. But yeah, no, just the fact that you hung out for so long, that means a lot, right? Like the sub is nice and I absolutely appreciate it. But just the fact that you hang out, even if this is the only time you've ever subbed and ever will sub, just know that I appreciate the fact that you hang out with me. Yeah, Buns, I try to keep things going on TikTok. That's kind of where I'm dedicating most of my time. I've kind of stagnated because I lose bot followers that will randomly follow. but I gained followers. So I've pretty much stayed at the same level for the last like month or so. I haven't been very consistent on TikTok, so I'm trying to get that consistency going again. It's just very hard to come up with ideas all the time. But now that I have hair, I have an excuse to remake a bunch of my videos, so I'm going to do that. But it's nice to see results on TikTok versus like YouTube and Twitch. Sometimes I bust my butt and I get no results. And I'm not talking money. I just mean like people hanging out or video watches. I'll make a YouTube video that's 10 minutes long. It'll take me 8 or 9 hours to do, and then it gets like 300 views after 6 months. So that can be very disheartening versus TikTok. You can get results out of it. I would like to continue to grow my channel. I would like to reach like 250,000 followers. That would kind of be my goal. I'm not planning to do that anytime soon, but I'm hoping that by streaming more often, creating content more often, that maybe I'll be able to push it. I'm even thinking of like, I'm going to watch my numbers for the next little while, next couple of weeks, see how my growth is with what I'm doing now, where it's like TikToks on the day I don't stream, and then I stream and no TikTok that day. But I want to see what happens in a few weeks if I go back to my original style of doing 2 or 3 TikToks a day and do that for a couple of weeks and see if that affects anything, just to see what happens. Curiosity, right? Buns, I would love if you did fan art. I have had one person on TikTok, I want to say, did a piece of fan art of me. And then I had one person from Twitch. She's an artist and she did fan art of me. Hers was really cool. It was like, it was like, I don't know much about art, but it looked a lot like water paint. Like it was really, really nice. And then I had a sketch done of my Goofy character. If you've never followed me on TikTok, I have a Goofy character. His name is Buddy. And that was never actually his name, but it just kind of happened because I'd always say, hey, buddy. And I meant buddy as in like, I'm Canadian, and that's kind of how I say hi. But everybody took that as that's his name. So he kind of became named Buddy. But he's the stereotypical annoying 12-year-old viewer. Not every 12-year-old is this way, but it's like the typical 12-year-old annoying viewer. That was him. And I started it as a way to kind of let streamers know how to deal with annoying viewers, and also kind of hoping that the annoying viewer would realize, hey, I've done that. Maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. And that was kind of my big thing. I had another streamer who's amazing. I love her to death. She drew Buddy, me as Buddy, for one of my sketch art. I love fan art. I haven't had many opportunities with it, but I think it's so cool. So if you did that, I would absolutely love that. I would love to see that. Preston, I am sitting at 136,000, I want to say. I think it was 136,000. Hold on. No, stop it. Show display. There we go. 134,000. 134.6. That's what it is. 134.6 thousand followers. But I've been stuck there for a little bit. I haven't been consistent enough. And like I said, I'm losing followers as I'm gaining them, because I'm gaining not a huge number. I'm gaining something like maybe 20 a day, but I'm also losing about 20 a day. So I'm pretty much stuck in the same number. But I think it's still a pretty decent number. I'm happy with it. I would like to get more, but I haven't been consistent enough. That's what I'm trying to do now, is with all the streaming and stuff, trying to get those numbers going again. Yeah, Preston, it's been cool. It's been really cool to see the numbers that I've gotten, and to know that, like, I don't feel anything when I look at it. Like, I don't look at it and go, wow, I'm famous. But it's cool when I watch other like news coverage, or I watch other creators referencing creators that are about my size, and they'll be like, a TikTok star or an influencer, and I'm like, hey, I'm the same size as them. And that's cool to hear that I fall into that category, even though I don't feel it, because like I've never been recognized anywhere. I've never been recognized, which would be really cool if I ever did, but I don't go out much, so not much opportunity to be recognized. But there's the potential. There are people with less followers than me that have been recognized, so who knows, right? But that part's really cool. It's really cool to see that kind of thing where I can be considered a larger creator. Even when I was getting my hair done, the guy that was doing my hair, he asked me about my channel size, and I explained it to him, and he's like, wow, you must make good money. And it's like, no, because TikTok doesn't pay us. But I'm at a size now where people do assume that this is what I do full time, and that's a cool feeling. I'm sure it's the same with you with the acting thing, right? Like you're at a professional level, and you're not just like an amateur actor goofing off with your friends. But I'm sure you don't feel like a professional actor. I'm sure you don't feel like a star. But to little guys like me, it's like, oh my God, Preston's like famous. So it's like, I'm sure that's probably the best relation I can give you on how you feel and how I feel. It's cool. It's really cool. Yeah, Buns, I would love to see that. If you're going to like post it like in a video or whatever, tag me. Absolutely tag me. If I don't see it, because sometimes I get tagged, but it might be like an influx of notifications. And sometimes I can not look at TikTok for 5 or 6 hours, and I come back and it's like over 150 notifications, and it only shows me like 20 at a time. And a lot of them are just like, they liked my video. There's no like follow or anything or comment. It's just a bunch of likes. And so I just don't see when I'm tagged in something or notified. But tag me in it. If I don't see it and you're on a stream or whatever, comment it so I can look it up, okay? But yeah, Preston, and that's the feeling I get, is that like other people see the number and they go, oh my God, that's huge. And I go, it's really not, because it isn't. And I don't feel like an influencer. I'm still some guy in my room by myself with a bunch of like neon lights around me, literally making funny voices in front of the camera. But I also have a lot of friends who've been on TikTok longer than me and haven't even broken 10,000 followers. So that says a lot. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Preston. So basically, right before I answer that, yes, I am excited for the new Breath of the Wild. I heard there's something going on. I saw a YouTube video that was like, everybody is speechless about the new Breath of the Wild information, but I didn't look at the video yet. I want to look it up. Is that just clickbait, or did something happen recently with Breath of the Wild? But I am excited for it. Preston, yes. So I can make money from companies. It's really hard at my size because my viewership on a video can really fluctuate. I can do a video where I only get like 800 views. I can also do a video where I can get 250,000 views. I've never broken 1 million, so I've never technically gone viral, but I've had many, many videos that have broken 500,000 views. Like I'm talking probably about 25 videos that have, at least 25 that have broken 250,000, 500,000 views. But because I'm not viral material, my content isn't viral content. Most of the time, it's not easy for companies to pay me for work. I've gotten a few offers. Raid Shadow Legends once offered, and they weren't willing to pay what I wanted, and they wanted to pay me. They didn't say a number, but I'm feeling it was less than $100 because I didn't ask for much more than $100. And so they weren't willing to pay me for that, which is fine. I thought it was kind of funny that I finally made it and had Raids Shadow Legends wanting me to promote them. But most of the time it'll be like they'll offer me $50 or something, $100. If it's something that I really think I would enjoy or I want to tell people about, then I'm okay accepting that. If it's something that I'm not 100% behind, like Raid Shadow Legends is not a game that I've ever really played. It's not something that I am super excited about, but I'd be willing to try it. And if they paid me well enough, sure. But most of the time it's free product that I get. So like the hair, I got earbuds. I doubt that you saw that video. I got earbuds sent to me by a company that does like, it's a lot of electronics. So they do like speakers and headphones. And I want to say they do keyboards. I can't remember what else they do, but they do a lot of like stuff like that. And their whole thing is that it's very steampunk style. So it's like metal and looks rusted, but futuristic and like robotic and stuff. Like their speaker looks like a little android. I'm trying to think of what game has it, but it looks like a little robot and it's all metallic and stuff. And I tried their headphones and they don't ask me to say anything. It's literally just, we'll send you it and you make a video within a set amount of time. And that's pretty much all they tell me. And so they sent me those headphones. I tried them out and I put them on to pair them and everything, and then I took them out, and the little rubber piece stuck in my ear. The headphone came out, but the little rubber, this cushion thing, got stuck in my ear. And so immediately I grabbed the camera and had Alana film as she took tweezers to pull it out of my ear because it went in deep. And so my review, my two biggest gripes with it, and I still have the one gripe, is that the way that they have it set up, pulling it out, it's very slick and there's no grip. So pulling it out of the headphone container that it comes with, because they're Bluetooth wireless, it's very hard to get it out. So I always have to lick my fingertips to pull it out. And at a time like now, I don't really want to be licking my fingertips when I'm out on the street. And then the headphone thing. Now I put it back on, and now I use it when I'm like in my room and I'm watching something on my tablet, because I have my AirPods Pro, but I use those for work, and I don't want to kill the battery and then end up forgetting to charge it and go to work and I've got no battery. So I use those ones that they sent me as my like bum around the house headphones. And the headphone thing has never come off again. And they sound pretty decent. But I made sure I let everybody know what happened, because God forbid something like that happens to somebody else and then they puncture their eardrum trying to get it out. So they weren't very happy with me afterwards. They didn't like say anything bad. They just like very much like, I wish you would have shown us the video, because that doesn't ever happen. But I was going to give my honest opinion of what happened. Even at the end of the video, I kind of threw it over my shoulder, and I think that's what made them upset. But that's usually what it is they'll send me a product. They'll tell me a timeline of when they want me to get the video out, and then that's it. I've had a couple of companies that have sent out to me. One sent me something that was complete trash, and I emailed them right back, and I said, look, this is garbage, and I'm giving you the opportunity to tell me not to make the video, because I'm going to trash this thing, and I really don't want to do that to you. And they agreed, and they said, yeah, no, don't worry about it. If we find anything else that we can send you, we'll send it to you. And I was like, okay, I just don't want to, do more harm than good for you. And then I had another thing sent out to me, and then they charged me for it, and that wasn't part of the deal. Well, they didn't charge me for it. It got held by UPS or FedEx or whatever, and then they were charging me to get it. And they were refusing to release it, and I had a timeline to get the video out. And I emailed the people, and they never emailed me back about it. And so I went and paid for it, because I was like, I need to get this done. And I recorded the video, had everything edited and ready to go, and then they finally responded. And I was like, I went and I paid for it. I'm like, so can you reimburse me? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll reimburse you. And then they ghosted me. Then about 2-3 months later, they messaged me again. They're like, hey, when's that video coming out? Hey, I told you need to pay me before I can make the video. And they're like, oh, well, it's out of my hands. You have to email these people and blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, okay, well, once you get back to me with my money, then I'll make the video. And then he's like, okay, send me your information. Then ghosted me again. Then emailed me again going, hey, where's the video? And I'm like, hey, where's my pay? And they're like, oh, well, send us a receipt. And I sent them one. And they're like, no, we need a personalized receipt from you. And so I sent them one. And then I never heard from them again. And so that was it. And so it's like, I kept the product. I paid for the shipping of the product, which wasn't part of the deal. They didn't get their video. They're not happy with me. And they're a fairly big company. But the deal wasn't for me to pay to review their product. The point was, I got the product as payment for a review. I wasn't going to pay them or the shipping for them for a review. So that's kind of where it gets a little bit dodgy that way. But on the upside is I get to test some really cool stuff, right? Like I had those headphones, my Edifier speakers that I got. Those things are amazing. I love those things. Edifier sent me those to try out, and they're a really nice set of speakers that I've used. The neon light behind me. You can't really see it the way the camera's set up right now, but the neon light behind me, that was also sent out to me. And love that thing. I had an issue with it, emailed them. They sent me a replacement part, and it's perfectly fine again. They are awesome to work with too. So like, I'm not going to get rich doing it, but I get to try some really cool stuff through it. The hair. I was scared to pull the trigger on this thing, and now I've pulled the trigger on it. I haven't. They gave me it for me to like share with everybody, and now I know that this is what I want to do, right? And so like if I do enough work for them, maybe they'll want to renew the contract next year, and I can continue to get more pieces and continue to make videos on it. So it's like I won't get rich, but I'll get some stuff out of it, which can be pretty nice. I would like to make money doing it, but I'm not holding my breath. So with the deep silver thing, Preston, nothing's been going on lately. I did a few videos on, what's it called? The game that's a Grand Theft Auto that everybody hated, this last one. Can't remember what it's called. But they sent me that. King Gabagool, how you doing? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well. Hope work is treating you well and life isn't too stressful. I can't remember what it was called, but they sent me that. And I tried it. It was decent. I played it for like 2, maybe 3 hours on stream. I played it a little bit on my own. Not totally my type of game, but it was fine. Everybody really hated it. That was my last video to not go viral, but to get quite a few views. It got a lot of comments. It was a stupid amount of hate comments. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. I don't even know if I can pull it up. Where is it? So the review of the game itself got 6,342 views. The follow-up video I did speaking about the game again got 215,000 views. So 250,000 views almost. And a ton of hate comments because I used that game as a way to talk about the gaming industry. And I was basically saying how a lot of big companies are allowing garbage games to come out. Garbage as in like they're broken or there's something really wrong with the game. And then people are ripping them apart because they want perfection, but they still buy it when it's not perfect. And so it's like you're complaining, but you're still buying it. And they know you're going to buy it anyway, so they're just going to continue selling you garbage. The amount of people that commented on that video that it was because I was old and I don't know gaming and I don't like video games and maybe I should stop playing because clearly I don't understand what the video game industry is. When my whole thing was, hey guys, we're getting ripped off and we should probably do something about it. It's not that the gaming industry is bad, it's that the rich people running it are ruining it for everybody. But a bunch of people were like, you don't like video games. No, I love video games. That's the problem, is I love video games and these guys are ruining it for us. But after that, Deep Silver hasn't really sent anything, but they don't really have anything on the go right now. I know there's a few things they're working on, but nothing that has come up yet. But they kind of just email me out of the blue. They're like, hey, we're working on this. You're going to get it in 2 weeks. You'll get it a week early. And then the day of, you can release your video, which is really cool that I get to try something a few days beforehand. I get to play it when nobody else is playing it. It's really cool. It really sucks sometimes when I really want to talk about it and I can't. But the Deep Silver thing has been one of the cooler things that I've done. That's been one of the cooler things that I've done. They've been really great. I've gotten to try quite a few games because of them, and that's been awesome. Yeah, I haven't tried Sonic Frontiers. I've heard it's pretty decent. I've heard it's one of the good ones in comparison to the really bad ones that have come out more often than not. But yeah, there's been problems with the game industry, but it's not that games are getting worse. It's that CEOs are pushing devs to a point where they cannot produce what is expected with the budget they're given and the timelines they're given. But then the CEOs wash their hands of it and the devs get the shit end of the stick, but we keep buying it. And so of course it keeps happening, right? Like they know Call of Duty, they know that they can release Call of Duty, tweak a few things, but not really make any drastic changes and charge you an arm and a leg, and everybody's going to buy it, even though there's nothing really huge happening between them. Assassin's Creed, same thing. The Assassin's Creed has a bit more change because they changed the scenery and stuff, but it's the very same gameplay, the same mechanics. So outside of the script and the scenery, it's pretty much the same style all the time. Far Cry, very similar that way. Pokemon, very similar in every game. I'm not saying any of these games are bad. I'm just saying there's a lot of repetition, and they charge full price, and a lot of them are broken, and people keep buying them. And so instead of us kind of standing up and saying, hey, do a better job, CEOs tell the devs, hey, do a better job, while cutting them off at the feet. And then there's people like me who are sitting here going, I want another Silent Hill, and it's been 14 years, and I want another Resident Evil, and it's been X years. And that's changed now, but you know what I'm saying. Metal Gear, I wish that we could have a good Metal Gear game. The industry has a lot of problems, but it's mostly due to capitalism and super rich people who aren't really passionate about video games anymore. And it's the people who are passionate that are paying for it in the long run. And that's pretty sad. That really hurts me. Yeah. And that's exactly it, Buns. It's the CEOs may have started off passionate. Like I know Randy Pitchford. I'm pretty sure he was a developer. He made games. He was in the trenches with the devs and with the passionate people and making fun games. And now he's the head of Gearbox, and he's become everything that devs struggle against. He is the rich guy who only cares about deadlines and getting games out and selling the hype. He doesn't actually care about the passion behind the project. And so you see the devs pay for it, because what happens? A game comes out, it doesn't do very well, and nobody goes, Randy Pitchford is to blame. They all go, the devs are to blame. That development company, that development house, they're the problem. When it's like, no, Randy Pitchford had them set a certain time limit and they couldn't do anything about it. And whether or not the game was ready, it was coming out. And they had a really short budget. So then instead of 25 people working on it, it was only 15 people, but they still had 25 people's worth of work. And so of course things get cut and things get ruined and mechanics are broken and little mistakes lead to big problems down the line. But nobody says Randy Pitchford did it, because Randy Pitchford is the pitch man. He's going to talk and sell it. And then when it goes wrong, no, we're doing our best. Even though it's like, no, dude, you're whipping them while they're trying to fix it, but you're not giving them a chance to fix it. And it's really sad. And it's the devs who never get the chance to shine that are paying for it. And those devs who never get the chance to shine potentially could have made a masterpiece video game, but they never had the opportunity to, because how many devs roll over in video games, right? Like they go into work for a company like Blizzard and they work there for 2-3 years and then they're out because they've been burnt out. When if they would have worked steadily for 10 years, they might have been at the top of their league in 10 years, making some of the best games in the world, but because they're burnt out, they never got a chance to. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. Yeah, the bugs really ruin the game. Yeah, I heard a lot of mixed things about Pokemon. I gotta quit. I gotta get going soon. In the sense of like Pokemon, the new ones, the open world idea, the 3D environments, super, super cool, really fun, but it's just so broken that takes away from it. And that is really, really disheartening. Because I haven't played Pokemon since Pokemon Red, the original Game Boy Pokemon Red. And these open world ones I was really excited for. I bought it for my daughter. She loves Pokemon. She literally played it for like 20 minutes and she hasn't touched it since. I don't know why. She keeps saying she likes it, but I don't know. But it's sad. There are so many franchises out there that are phenomenal and are getting destroyed due to corporate greed. Look at Metal Gear. Kojima is hit and miss with a lot of people. Some people love him. Some people hate him. But Kojima, for me, is great. I love all of his Metal Gear stuff. And then the last one came out and I hated every second of it. And I never beat it. I played it for about 2 hours and I couldn't get into it. And I've always loved Metal Gear. And so corporate greed kicking him out, changing the voice actor because you want more like star power behind it. And yeah, you looked at the right now success, but you didn't think of the long run of like making 8 or 9 more games. Instead, you looked at the most you can get out of this game and forget everything else. And that sucks. And it's kind of the same with Pokemon and all that. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. Pokemon, thankfully, has still held on better than most of the other major series. But like, look at New Super Mario Bros. How many New Super Mario Bros. Games came out and there was just no magic behind them. And that was disappointing too. The games industry needs to have a big change. Thankfully, there's a lot of indie stuff happening. That's one of the things that I commented a few times in that one video is that's what I love about VR. I love VR. But I think that's one thing that has me excited about VR is that there's a lot of indie developers making VR games for the passion, not for the money. Because it's a new platform. It's a new way to get creative. It's a new way to try things. And because no big companies have succeeded, they are not coming in and corrupting it yet. So you have a lot of indie people doing games that are phenomenal and really creative. Even if they're buggy and broken and glitchy, you know that it was a team of 5 people. And so it's impressive that they did what they did. And you're willing to put up with the bugs, but there's passion behind it. So it makes it so much better. Whereas when you get somebody like Activision Blizzard doing Diablo Immortal, and it feels like a total cash grab. It's broken like a cash grab, and it's not passionate. It feels like copy paste. There's a gem there, but greed ruined it. VR hasn't had that happen yet, and that makes me really excited. Mark Zuckerberg is kind of sinking that ship as we speak, but I'm really hoping that won't happen long term. I'm hoping that it'll bounce back because I love VR for that reason. I try buns, and you know what? I always mess something up, or I say something wrong, or I'll say something that may not be what you read, if that makes sense. So I'll make mistakes for sure. But most of the time, I back it up with at least one source of where I was looking at something, or I make sure in the video I say, hey, this is my opinion. But there are still people that get really mad. I got one guy that got really, really mad at me. I did a video about blowing in the cartridge on the NES. And I said in the video that one of the reasons it may have worked was because the moisture in your mouth would like help the pins get more conductive or whatever. And some guy comments like, that's all wrong. He's like, that's completely wrong. And then I was like, well, I mean, nobody's really ever definitively said this is why blowing ever worked, but it doesn't really work. And then he's like, no, you should watch this video. And I was like, I actually did watch that video. That was one of my sources that I used. And then he's like, well, then you know that it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah. And then this is the source that I used. And then I show him the article. And I was like, and if you read in the article, the guy that's being interviewed who ran the study says nothing happened from blowing in the cartridge. We don't really know why it happened, whether it was because going in and out actually like the friction caused some of the rust to come off and it would make the connection better, or maybe the moisture in your breath caused it. And so it's like, I said it because that was in that source. And the video he sent me, the guy had a source underneath, and the source was my article. And so it's like, dude, I'm using the exact same article as him. So it's like, you're mad at me, but I used the article that your video talked about. So like, I just concentrated on a different part of what he said. So I try to do research. Sometimes I get it completely wrong. Like the Sif story I did one about Sif in Dark Souls, and I pronounced it Sif. And I don't know how this happened, but I looked up the pronunciation, and I swear to God, the one thing that I read said Sif. Like they put it out phonetically and it said Sif. And then a bunch of people commented that I was saying the name weird. And then I went back and looked, and everywhere that I looked, it said Sif. So where the hell did I find Sif? I know I found it, I just don't know where. So sometimes I find the wrong source and I totally screw it up. But I try, right? I try to at least have some kind of background. I'll look up something interesting, and then I'll go and try to research to see if this is BS or if it's actually something that happened. But I appreciate the fact that you at least appreciate the fact that I try, which means a lot. Yeah, you definitely can't satisfy everybody. You really can't. And TikTok is a 100% proof of that, because I'll make a video and people will get mad at something that I didn't say in the video. Or I'll make a video. Okay, I did a video talking about the game industry. And I literally say in the video, when I say the game industry is dying, I'm being hyperbolic. I don't actually think it's dying. I said it in less words. I don't think it's actually dying. But I guarantee somebody is still going to get mad at the fact that I said that. Within 24 hours, I had one guy full out fighting with me, saying that I was an idiot for thinking that the game industry was dying. And then I said, you couldn't watch past the first 10 seconds because I literally say somebody's going to get mad at me because I'm being hyperbolic and they wouldn't make it this far in the video. And he's like, well, you should need to be more interesting. It's like, no, it was 10 seconds, dude. 10 seconds into the video. I think it was like 11.5 seconds into the video. I literally say this. And he's like, yeah, well, you're still an idiot if you think it's dying. I'm like, no, I literally say it's hyperbole. It's a hook. That's what you need in these videos. And it's like, dude, I literally put up the warning and people still got mad at me about what I was warning them about. I could literally say, hey guys, I'm about to clear my throat, so please look away. And then I go, and somebody goes, you should have warned me. It's like, I did. I literally warned you, and you still got upset. The TikTok is like a total proof of that every time. It's hilarious. It can be frustrating sometimes, but it's hilarious. Anyways, I should stop. I gotta go pick up Alana any minute now. She's gonna be finishing sometime soon. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you everybody for being here, for listening to me blab on for forever. I will be live tomorrow, hopefully, if I get enough sleep. That's the plan. I don't know what time. My daughter's not at school tomorrow, so I'm not on such a time constraint. Normally I have to be done by 2:30 because I have to pick her up from school, but she's not at school, Christmas vacation, so I get to sleep in a little bit and I'll take my time. But I'll probably stream tomorrow for a couple of hours on TikTok. So if you want to come hang out, I'll be playing some Dark Souls and just hanging out. It'll be about 11 hours from now. So if you want to be here, then cool. If not, I'll be back next week and we'll continue with this. We made progress today. Maybe we'll make progress tomorrow. I'll try, or next week. I'll try with all the lights off, see if I can get some more spooks going, because I like being scared. And when the lights are on and I'm chatting, it's hard to get scared. I want to get scared again. All right, Buns, thank you for being here. Preston, I don't know if you're still listening, but thank you for being here. King Gabagool, you too. Icy, everybody, thank you so much. I'm trying to remember all the names that I saw and who didn't say goodnight yet. Everybody else, I hope I see you soon. Have yourselves a wonderful night. And shush, video game. I'm trying to alt tab here. Trying to alt tab. Let me alt tab. Where's my mouse? Hello, mouse. There it is. Haha. Okay, now I'm out of here. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a good night. And